It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. But don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way that things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. But when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. Every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
All right. Good morning, beautiful folks. How is everybody doing this beautiful? Well, I have to ask you, is it beautiful in the Cayman Islands? I'm not there. I'm here, not there. But where I'm at, it is rainy and it's still beautiful. We got to give thanks for the weather. Regardless, it's the rainy days that make the, sunshiny days amazing and awesome, right? So I hope that you guys had a wonderful and safe weekend. Lots going on that we need to get caught up. And I did promise you guys that although I'm away this week, I would most certainly be keeping the show this week, Monday through Friday. Next week, Monday, I'll be traveling back home. So I'll take that particular day off. But nope, we're going to keep it going, honey chill. Because you guys know I got another vacation that's coming up in September/October. So at that time, we'll have to really take off. Yeah. All right. Let me just see here. Everybody good? I think we're all good. All right. Just updating the links so that we can send those out here. So I'm completely remotely set up. So if you guys have any issues hearing me, let me know. I have noticed that my lighting is a little bit non-existent, so I will be getting that sorted out in due course. And yeah, let me just see here now. I think we're good on radio. We had to get that sorted out remotely as well. And yeah, other than that, I think everything's fantastic. Everybody else good? Okay, honey chill. Let me just see here. Yes, I'm looking at a few options to improve lighting by tomorrow, and I think we should be able to do that without a problem. Let me take roll call, and then I am going to send out the links to everyone, and then I think we should be good. So we are live and direct, of course, right here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, cmrtv.com, and of course, Bobo 103.1 FM. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Bit of good news. A dog has been reunited with their owner. We just got word that they saw the post on CMR with their little missing doggy, and they reached out. He had to spend the night away from home. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine how he might have been feeling. Sometimes they get very, very nervous when they have to be away from home. Take it from me, I know. Little Zeusy right now. Uh-oh. Let me just make some adjustments to my mic. Little Zeusy right now, he is super nervous when we're away. He's like, where are you going and leave me? So he's going to be in doggy daycare from today. So I think he'll be fine once he gets to doggy daycare because he absolutely loves it at doggy daycare. And he gets to visit all of his little doggy friends. Yeah. Okay. So let me just send out the channel links. Everybody's okay? Radio's good? You guys can hear me on radio this morning? Just give me a little thumbs up in the WhatsApp chat if we are good to go on radio as well. So good weekend. We're going to get you guys updated on a few things that transpired over the weekend. Let me just double check that I have started the Instagram feed before we proceed any further. Nope, I didn't. There we go, Instagram folks. Sorry, I'm just making one little adjustment to my microphone here so that you guys can hear me more consistently. Just a lot of cables, and I've got limited desk space, but thankful nonetheless for what we've got going on. There we go. I think that's better. So good morning, Instagram folks. I was just telling everyone happy Monday. We are remotely doing the show this morning because I'm technically on a mini summer vacation, and we are working nonetheless. Keeping it moving, honey, chill. So big shout out, by the way, to a few athletes. We're going to get to them here in a second, who've done an amazing job and are being recognized for their contributions athletically. I think everybody should be proud of their accomplishments. And then let me just see here. Give me one quick second. There we go. And then we are going to talk about some of the weekend happenings. So we had a few accidents over the weekend. Yay. I don't know what to say, but I really don't know what to say with you guys. I mean, you know, I wish you would behave yourselves, but you're not behaving. And so we had a serious one. I think there was actually two pretty serious ones on Saturday night. And of course, those extended to, let me see here. Those extended to, there we go. All right, so those extended, that I saw another one. I know for sure the one in Linford Pearson Highway took out an entire light pole again. How much do you think these light poles cost with, I'm going to definitely get a better light for tomorrow, hopefully. So sorry, I shouldn't have touched it. Okay, we're back. Let me see if I turn on this light, if this helps any with the lighting situation. Normally you don't want light behind you. So that's why I haven't really turned it on. You see what it kind of does, right? It washes you out. Yeah, it's a bit intense. No light or with the light? What do you guys think? I mean, it washes out the background, and then if I turn it off, it looks like that. It's kind of dark without the light, I'll be honest with you. But these are the limitations when you're doing it remotely from a laptop. But I am going to order a light and get that sorted for tomorrow. So back to what I was saying. So we know for sure that one of those cars definitely took out a light pole on Saturday in the lift for Pearson because the power was out, and I think CUC obviously worked pretty diligently to get it back on as quickly as possible, as they always do. I mean, bless their little hearts. As much flack as they take, most of the power outages on this island are happening because of these accidents. And so last week, we saw that the NRA is doing a little bit of a trial. Thank you, Shamika, for the feedback. And so, yeah, they're doing a bit of a trial run where they are putting those big plastic encasings, I guess. Yep, somebody else said no light. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, so they're putting those around the base of some of the light poles. And I don't know. Does that work? I don't know. I feel like because they're only like up to 35 miles per hour. And so I do feel like, it's only a matter of time before they will also be knocked down. And then we'll be like, oh, not only are they ugly, but in addition to that, there's really not a whole lot of practicality to them. Because these people who are taking out light poles are not driving 35 miles per hour. I can assure you of that. They are doing like a bat out of hell. And did you guys see the video? The guy was like, he almost hit me. And then he swerved and he did this and da-da-da-da. And I was just like, whoa, that is so wild. Unbelievable, but there you go. Another day. It's like road racing here in the Cayman Islands. So anyway, hope you guys are well. Let me just see. Okay. All right. Okay, so radio is good, right? I'm just confirming because that is a little bit more tricky when we remotely to get connected. And so before I left on Friday, I actually had to just do some testing with an overseas vendor to make sure that that device was working fine. So tomorrow, depends on what time it gets delivered tomorrow, might be realistically Wednesday. I'll have some better lighting sorted out for us. All right, so everyone should have the show links. And yes, good morning to all of you. So in addition to the vehicular accidents, and like I said, there were a few of those, on Friday, we did have some sort of an arrest incident in the district of Bodden Town. There was a house there that apparently some people live in, Caymanians gonna give you this so straight. Some people live there. They're like, oh, they're NAU clients. I'm like, okay. And there was a raid at that location for drugs and I'm being told drugs and a weapon, some sort of weapon, might have also been recovered from that location. So that is pretty wild. Yeah, if we hear more about it, we will certainly let you know. But it's pretty crazy that people have the time and energy if they're getting assistance from government to still be engaging in illegal activity. It's like, go get a job. That's what you need to find time and energy for. Not dealing in drugs and not having weapons hanging around the house. You know what I'm saying? Go and get yourselves a job. My goodness. Unbelievable. But when we hear more about that, we will certainly let you guys know. So that was happening Tuesday afternoon. My apologies, Friday afternoon, a little bit after, I think it was like 3 o'clock or so. We initially got the tip that this raid was happening, and they were en route with some additional support. So, yes, okay. So I've just put the link on the Facebook page because, again, I've noticed that Facebook just isn't populating it on the main page. It's still live and it's still there, but makes it a little bit easier to find. So yeah, so we had that incident on Friday, and then we also had, just by way of a weekend recap, we had something going on yesterday that we haven't really gotten a lot of information on yet, but we do know that it was some sort of a what would you call it? Some sort of a possible drowning, because we heard that the Coast Guard, I think it was out, and they were bringing someone in, and EMTs or whoever was trying to perform CPR on this individual. So I suspect that I think most people just don't survive these incidents. So I suspect that we will hear a little bit more about that probably sometime today. Yeah, very, very sad. But as soon as we know what's happening, we will certainly let you know. So let me just see what else. And that one was, we got word about it. And then I hope that we can get some further details, but someone said that essentially they were trying to ascertain exactly what it was. There was a couple of the party boats out yesterday, so they weren't sure if it was like that type of a situation or if it was actually someone visiting our shores. So we don't actually know at this particular time, but as soon as we hear something more concrete, you can rest assured that we will certainly post it up. Okay. And then I think it was sometime yesterday, I believe, we had another report of an accident as well. So, these accidents are wild. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Okie dokie. Very good. Yes. Okay. So, and you're going to hear the pinging on the, somebody says, you look amazing. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I'm going to tell you about my hair situation, but yes, you're going to hear the pinging of the messages, because despite my best efforts to turn that off, I turned it off, I thought, in the sound settings. I've turned it off in the app. I still hear it. So I don't know where it's coming from. Now, we have the show phone plugged in, but I can't guarantee you that it's actually working unless somebody tries to call me. So if someone wants to call me this morning, because I am curious as to whether or not it's going to work. If someone wants to just call and say, good morning, honey child, I will gladly accept your call. So yes, I'm not sure. I do have it and it's plugged into the board, but not everything is exactly the same as my usual setup at home. Oh, thank you. Somebody's calling me. Hold on now. Hold on. The funny thing is I don't hear it ringing. So good morning.
Good morning, honey
Yeah, hold on now. Let me try playing it back in. So I'm actually not hearing it come through the board. So maybe not. All right, I am gonna try to troubleshoot that a little bit later on. But thank you. I'll put you on speakerphone. Thank you so much for testing it out for me.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Hung up?
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, bye.
So I will okay. So we can receive calls, but I'll have to put you in speakerphone. I thought that this worked through the board, but my memory, I don't use the remote setup probably once or twice for the year. So of course, from one setup to the next, the little brain is like, I don't know. I can't remember. What I got to do is like take pictures this time if everything starts working properly. I'll get that sorted out because I do need to call the board manufacturer about a question today. Marshall, good morning, honey. Chow. Good morning to Olivia. Damaris, Barbara G's here. Richard joining us from Round Rock, Texas. That's always a tongue twister. Good morning to you, sir. Miss Carol is joining us. Speaking of Miss Carol, another Miss Carol has passed away. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that here in a little bit. We wish to extend our condolences, of course. Dean, yes, the weekend was good. Still watching all the nonsense that's going on, which I will just briefly touch on this weekend as well. Felicia and Irvlyn are here. Irvlyn, you're on vacation too, right? AJ, I got something coming your way. Yes, I do. I got your message. I got your address. And while I'm here, I'm going to be shipping that off to you. Good morning to Miss Iva. Alfred is here. Hoping that everyone had a good weekend. Thank you, Shamika. Thank you, Miss Dean. Jessica is in the house. Oh, she says, we miss you. I was only gone for one day. So Thursday was travel day. And then we had a show on Thursday, though. And then Friday, you know what? I just wanted to sleep in. Some mornings, it's so good to sleep in. But what I've realized is I'm kind of messing up my schedule because when I do sleep in, then I'm up to like 1:30 in the mornings. Last night, I didn't go to bed till 2 o'clock. And that's not a good thing. So I think I got to really fix my like bedtime at no later than 11 o'clock, come no matter what. Oh, somebody's, that's my husband calling me. Good morning, sir. I'm live doing my show. Anything urgent or can I call you back? It's urgent? What's going on? He says I needed to hear his voice. No radio? Are you sure, Diana? I'm connected. The emergencies, you needed to hear my voice? I needed to hear your voice. Oh, okay. All right, honey chill. Can I call you later? Bye. Yeah, I think he forgot about the time difference and stuff and didn't realize I was on. He doesn't even listen to the show, so he did not realize I was on. Oh, my little Pookie Zeus is missing me. Oh. Morning, Shaka Zulu. Lavana is heading back from Atlanta. How was the wedding, Lavana? Her son got married, so she has now gotten another daughter. Look at that. No radio. Do you guys have radio? I mean, it says I'm connected, so I don't know. Thank you, Irvlyn. Thank you, Diamond Princess. Oh, Diamond Princess, I love the butterfly. That's so pretty. Miss Charlene is here. Says, wow, you're amazing on vacation and still doing your thing. Yes. All I need is a little desk and then all my equipment, and we are working it. Leonard is joining us from Turks and Caicos. Hey, Leonard, how you doing? Beautiful. No radio. Hold on. Let me check the radio feed. I can check it. Let me message Mr. Dave. We should be on. Are you in 103.1? Some people still trying to find Bobo on the other frequency. And yeah. That normally doesn't work. Hold on. Let me try it and see. I think I can, let's see here now. Bobo. What's on Bobo?
And Judeline, thank you so much for this conversation.
How annoying. So I'm not connected. Ooh, that's not good. All right, let me just try something here. Thank you for letting me know because nobody else is telling me. Oh, no bueno. Let me just message this guy, Kevin. Seems it's physically connected, but not working on the radio. Okay, let me see. I think that I'm gonna just have a quick look at the settings. One quick second here. All right, so oh, I forgot to turn on my other little monitor here. Oh my goodness, I've got so many moving parts. I actually forgot about this one. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll keep talking. And then I do realize that one of my monitors here is not connected as well. And that gives me a bit of an extension onto what we got going on here. So, yeah, it says Stingray Media. It's a bit strange. Something strange is going on in the neighborhood. All right, so we probably need to see if we can get that sorted out. And then let me just see how I had my give me 1 second here. There's a lot of cabling and little bits and pieces here. Let me see now. This other monitor, that's a microphone cable. And this one is going to the board. And this one is going to there. Okay. I'm supposed to have one more cable going somewhere here. So we'll sort that one out in a little bit. That's just my monitor extension. So not quite as urgent, but I'm curious to know why we are not on radio. Okay. We will see what we can do about that. All right, give me a second. I am going to have to connect, I think, from the computer because my little device here, despite the fact that I brought it with me, doesn't seem to be working. Strange. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. He's going to try to connect it for me. Yep. Okay. All right. Hopefully we can get that resolved here shortly. And then we're going to be well on our way. Okay. Very good. We're not getting any audio. Oh, darn it. That's strange. Okay. Well, not sure what's going on. Okay, let me just try. Okay, let me plug in. I'm sure that it's that top one. Okay, how about now, Radioland? Okay. All right. So he said he was not getting any audio. A bit bizarre. All right, well, I made sure that everything was plugged in the same, I think. And so, you should be hearing me. I don't know. Okay. Plugged it back in. Okay. Not sure what is going on there, but give me 1 second here. I do notice that there is something a little bit weird with this board, and that certain buttons that should be working on the board itself, like my ability to mute myself from the board, doesn't seem to be working. So I am a little bit suspicious about this board. All right, we're going to try to get that sorted out with some technical assistance a little bit later on. So let me do this in the interim, because I do feel like there's something a bit weird going on here. So let me just do this instead. What is this thing called again? Right. Okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. All right. I'm working on it kind of in the background. Just bear with me. Okay. All right. So I might need to get somebody to help me out later on with some of my testing things. Okay. So, yeah, the show must go on, as they say. Well, thank you so much, young lady, for saying that I look so pretty today. So I went to a Dominican salon yesterday, Dominicana, and got my hair washed and curled and tried to tell her she doesn't really speak in English. Bless her little heart. And I tried to give her instructions on what I wanted done. So we were communicating by our apps. She's got a little handheld device that apparently she talks into it and then it translates for her, which is so interesting. I'm thinking, why don't you just use a smartphone? Like literally your phone has all of those apps and stuff in it that allow you to have that capability. But there you go. I was using my phone and she was using her other thingamajig. So yes, she did do my hair for me and finger curled it. So it's really, really simple, but if they don't normally do it, it's kind of challenging to explain to them what I'm trying to do. So she was like, so I had to pick up the phone and call Miss Rocio. I'm like, Miss Rocio, explain to her, please, in Spanish, what I want to do. So Rocio was like, okay. All right. So basically it's just like a wash and then a blow dry. She put me under looks like a dryer, but has some kind of steamer function. So I feel like it was a little bit of a mini heat treatment. So she did that. And then she blow dry it, and then you curl it. You do curl it a little bit with the curling iron, and then you take your fingers and you finger roll it, stick some hairpins in it, but they were not finger rolling it as thick as I wanted it to be finger rolled, but it still did the job. And of course, when I think about it now, I did not even, I didn't even have on a nightcap last night because I don't think I brought one with me. So the curls that you see are yeah, finger rolling. And then I just took it out this morning with my fingers, and it's good to go. All right, Sarah, I am trying to see what I can do. Just give me one quick second here. I'm trying to remember the name of my remote access app because I'm going to tap into my my laptop. I mean, my desktop. Oh, there we go. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get the link to do it through the web, because I don't know why it's not going through the board, because it very well should be. Very, very strange. So I do need to troubleshoot a few things there. All right, so I think I can connect via the web though, and then we'll be on radio. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'm just grabbing this link. Yes, indeed. Oh, but I think that this will change, because of course the IP address is not the same. Okay. So I think I know what IP address I need. Hold on 1 second. I am playing technician all at once, and then let me try this as an idea. Give me 1 second here. I just need to get this IP address up. Okay. And of course, I can't tell you what the IP address is. Dot 1. Let me see if that works. Oh, looks like it worked. Okay. So I'm going to connect this way. All right, Mr. Bobo Man. Let me see if that works now. Okay, I think he'll be able to probably hear me now. Connected via the web. All right, folks. Okay. All right. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully listeners now in Bobo are able to hear me. I am overseas at traveling. Still no audio connected, but no audio. Oh my goodness. My. Okay. I don't know what that's all about. Strange. All right. That's probably the most that I can do remotely at this particular time. I don't know what else I can do. All right. Well, dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Audio. Let me just see what it has here. Output device. I don't even know what all that is. That does not look right. Input device. That is not what it should be. Huh. Yeah, none of that looks right to me. Okay. All right, so that I don't spend the entire show troubleshooting, I think we're going to just have to move on for now and leave it at that. Not quite sure why. There is no... I'm just double checking the settings for the machine at home. And I should be able to see... Nope. Oh, it says the same thing. Very strange. Okay. I don't know. Very strange. All right. I'm all tapped out from ideas, so we're going to just continue to roll with it. Okay. So in any event, we want to extend our condolences this morning to the family of Miss Carol. Hey, Miss Carol will be known to most of you as, and especially the more recent times, as the lady who was really instrumental in providing us with honey, the jelly, the local jelly. Oh gosh, what's the proper term for it? It is escaping me right now. Oh pepper jelly. Yes, there we go. So Miss Carol had been fighting a battle with cancer, and unfortunately, she has now passed away. So we do want to extend our sincere, just thoughts, positive thoughts, and prayers for her family, especially her daughter, Allison, and her sister Sandra, Solomon, and her dear friend, Miss Ann Rice. I just know that it's been a very, very difficult time for them. And, it's just really sad. So incredibly sad in terms of, what's going on. I guess it's something that a lot of people, nobody gets out of this alive, just in case you didn't get that memo. None of us get out of this alive. So we will, we'll just extend our thoughts and prayers to the family. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's just a very, very sad situation. She was obviously very well aware of the prognosis and what she was facing. So just extending her prayers really to her family. Israel Garcia is joining us from the Dominican Republic. Good morning, Israel. How are you? Buenos dias. Island Pearl, Miss Marika is here. She says, "How cute are you? New hair color?" No, this has been it for a minute. But I think it's probably just the lighting today is perhaps highlighting it a bit more. I'm not really sure. But I'm rocking my curls. Yeah, there you go. So, YouTuber, morning to you, honey child. Miss Charlene is here. Says we're all patient, all confident you'll figure it out. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll figure it out. Thank you, John LaRue. Yeah, she was known as the pepper jelly lady, and boy, her pepper jelly was so good. So good. Made right here in the Cayman Islands. Yeah, she was a little firecracker. I enjoyed many conversations with her about so many issues that are facing our beautiful island. So, yeah. So, I don't know what to say except condolences to all of her loved ones and her family. Very, very sad situation indeed. It's so funny because I was just thinking about her just a couple days ago, maybe even one day this weekend. For some reason, she crossed my mind. And then I woke up this morning to have heard the really sad news. And so, what you going to do? So over the weekend, we had the continued trolling. It was getting next level ridiculous with this guy there, the Jamaican guy with Kim Airways and United. And he seems to be on a track to try to get a quick payout, get some money in his hands. And it's unfortunate, these guys have no respect for anyone. So of course he's making all sorts of, listen, in life, sometimes you get 15 minutes of fame is what they call it. But he's trying to extend his 15 minutes into like an eternity. He's doing the most. He's doing a song. You guys have been sending me the videos. Do me a favor. I blocked him. He created 2 accounts, apparently. I have blocked him, both accounts. I don't know if he's going to create a third one. But he's a troll, and he's encouraging all his followers to troll me, to message me. And all they can do is say, "Oh, suck your mother." And I'm like, whatever. I mean, the level of immaturity, like that's the only argument that they can bring to the table. "Who's like your mother?" I'm like, oh, okay, great. And that's it. I mean, I can't argue with people who are intellectually challenged. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what am I going to say to that? It's just, I don't know. I find it difficult to have discussions with people who can't formulate proper sentences. You know what I'm saying? So he's made a song about me. Like, he is doing the most. Good for him. I really hope that throughout all of this, he is paying his bills. I saw another Jamaican TikToker went after him and had some very, very strong words for him. And I just had to shake my head like, this is wild. All this time that he's spending on TikTok, obsessing about me, doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 videos per day. I'm thinking, dude, your significant other or some woman decided to have a child for you. That is some good quality time you could actually be spending with that child. And the way that I understand these guys operate is they live in this TikTok world. That is their world. I hardly even go on TikTok. We post on TikTok because we're posting from another platform that basically, we'll do across all the platforms. Like, we put it in one thing, it goes out to everyone. But to say that I actually, since last week, I guess I've been doing it a little bit more, I go on the app itself, not really. But these people are wild. And so a couple observations from this whole situation. Number one, I'm a big woman compared to this guy. I don't know how old he is, but honestly, I'm probably old enough to be his mother, right? I'm going to be 53, God's willing, this month on the 18th of August. And so I'm not playing with children. There comes a time in your life when you just got to speak the truth, speak the truth and just keep it moving. And people who can't handle the truth, I always find very, very interesting, because then they make things up. So the arguments that they're coming with are just absolutely ridiculous. One of the arguments, first of all, if you have to counter the truth with a lie, this is like a Trump move. You got some serious issues. So he claims that I have created a second account to be able to watch him. Obviously, he saw that I blocked him, and in his head now, he's thinking that I'm still sitting there looking at him. No, sir, I'm not looking at you. And everyone who sent me the videos over the weekend, I've said to most of you to please don't waste your time. Don't send me these videos. I don't really care about this guy. He was caught in a big lie. Now he's trying to twist it into something totally different and trying to get a little money bag from our national airline, I guess. What is so interesting is that in order to try to defend himself, he's actually telling more lies about me. So lying that I've created, a secondary TikTok account to sit there and watch him. That's a bold-faced lie. Someone told me over the weekend, he said that you went to Cayman Airways on Thursday to try and do damage control. Dude, you see, when you have to lie like that, your entire premise for the story was, number one, you were ignorant and didn't understand what was going on. And when we brought the truth to the table, then you doubled down in your position and you double down on your lies, right? And then you go into attack mode. So you attack the messenger. You can't attack the truth. Hear me clearly now. So you cannot attack the truth. So the next best thing to do is attack the person who's telling the truth. So I have not stepped foot in Cayman Airways. I couldn't even tell you when, right? I don't have any need to go there. Why would I need to go to Cayman Airways? That's ridiculous. So he claims to his followers who believe everything he says that I went to Cayman Airways on Thursday. I had zero time to go anywhere on Thursday. Like, literally, after the show, I ran to the airport because I had to finish throwing my little stuff in the suitcase, went straight to the airport, checked in, had to go run to one appointment at my lawyer's office, signed some documents, and ran back to the airport so I couldn't miss that flight. Nowhere in there is Cayman Airways, but he's fixated because he thinks he knows that somehow what I know about him, I got from Cayman Airways. Shocker. Nope. So then he started a GoFundMe account. I understand that he only has collected $250 from 2 or 3 people. That means that there are 2 or 3 people out there who have no regard for their money. To me, that is wild. You throwing money away, giving this guy money. But that's your prerogative. You're certainly free to do so. And Andrew says, don't even waste your time on that rubbish. I know it really is rubbish, but you'd be surprised how many people are trying to chime in on this and get their little 5 minutes or 15 minutes. So there's a guy from West Bay. He sounded like he was drunk when he was creating his video. Oh, she's not a real journalist. All she has is a podcast. And then he takes another sip on whatever it was he was drinking. It looks like it was early in the morning, and this dude looked like he was sauced up and drunk, blaming me. Oh, she got me arrested because she made me jackass of the day. I'm just like, what? What are you even talking about, dude? Oh my God. This concept of, oh, she's not a real journalist. Let me have another drink of my Stingray drink or whatever it was he was drinking. I was like, dude, I don't think that's a drink, right? Stingray Brewery? Yeah. Maybe that's what he was drinking. I don't know. But clearly he sounded drunk to me. So anyway, dude, the brain cells that you wasted trying to like do a video, save it for something else, okay? Because you don't know anything about me. You don't have a clue. One of the things that some of you might know and some of you don't really pay attention, so you might not know, is that I actually, quite ironically, although I never intended to be in this business of being a journalist, which, by the way, I had dinner with a journalist on Friday who's been in this game for a really long time. She works for one of the ABC stations. But anyway, she's a friend of her cousin's. But, I actually started writing for school newspaper when I was in university. So that wasn't the intended path in my life. And sometimes, life will bring you in a full circle moment. But here we are. But I can assure you that I have more certifications and ability to write a story than you will ever have in your entire life. I mean, I think you've killed all your brain cells with whatever it is you be drinking and smoking, because something not quite firing with this dude. Oh, she's just a podcaster. Yeah, so that means you've never read KimandMaRoad.com? You've never gone to the website, read any of the news stories? Are we reaching you there? Earth to dude. I don't even know what his name is, but he's just, it takes a special kind of person to even put something like that together. But for the record, so that you guys can, those of you who insist on this kind of nonsense, I want to make it very, very clear that I am working very, very diligently on my diploma in journalism so that y'all can just shut up. It's not that I need it. I certainly don't need another piece of paper in my life. But you know what? It's been a very, very interesting course so far. I've completed 2 modules. I'm actually waiting on my exam results from the second module, but my professor already told me I did extremely well on the exams. Most of my assignments, I'm getting like A- on my news submissions. So I have 2 more modules to do, and the next one starts in September. So yeah, let me tell you what, I can't remember what module is coming up next, but anyway, so I got to find some money to pay for that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, she sent me my results on the 17th. How did I not see this? Hold on. I think I got my results right here. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Articles submitted for this module. Oh, okay. I did not see that she had sent this. I missed this email. Okay, so there we go. We got our second set of results in already. This segment was freelance and features. All right, let me see here now. Okay. So distinction, cha-ching. The grade achieved for the exam for this module shows mathematical average. Okay, so I got with distinction again. Look at that. My tutorial record. Oh, I got a couple B's. I got 1 B and 1 B plus, and then everything else was an A- of my 6 assignments. Oh, no. That was the last term. This features one. I got one B plus. And then this one only had 5, I think is what it was. So I had one B plus and 4 A minuses. And then reviews. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. And then we have the next segment starts in September. So it starts the week of September 21st. So she's already sent me my reading and stuff like that. So anywho, it's fine. We'll have that piece of paper probably in another, I don't know, year or so to be able to hold up to people and say, look, we got a journalism certificate. Now are you happy? Doesn't make a difference to me really, but there you go. So, just crazy. Damien says, go for the Fox diploma. Oh my goodness. Didn't they see his name on the ticket? Yeah, it was crazy. This guy is, not everyone has, like I said, when common sense is being given out, not everyone really has the ability to engage at that level. Like they're just focused on, they think they see a money grab situation. And that is why he is rushing to try and, he's going to sue somebody. Please. There's no lawyer in this jurisdiction with any degree of common sense that is going to be like, really. So the other thing, thank you, Island Pearl, for this. I do want to address this because, I did speak with Mark about this situation. So this is Mark. First of all, I didn't know that Mark no longer worked at Cayman Airways. So that was news to me. And a number of you did reach out about his comments that he made when he called into this guy's live. You see, we give people the attention that they're seeking when we do things like join their live. I saw that he invited me, funny enough, to one of his lives, I think on Friday. And of course, I declined it. I'm not going to get on a live with this guy and do what exactly? Try to debate a man who's the extent of his conversation, of his vocabulary, Sakyamara. That's all he can say, like just pure nonsense. And he's obviously not willing to admit that he was wrong. So Island Pearl says that Mark joined his live. He came across a bit misleading to me because he could have point blank say that Cal did not give out the information. He made a general statement to say no airline will give out any information. Well, I guess because he no longer works for Cayman Airways, not that he would ever be in a position to speak for Cayman Airways in any event, but I think that, yeah, he doesn't know where I got my information from. So I guess technically or legally he can't say, but I think he was trying to say that. But then I think you are right. It was confusing because there are people who thought that he was supporting this guy. Based on what he said, like he was kind of like, oh, like they shouldn't do that, like no one is supposed to do that. And someone sent me the clip where he said something about, even if your girlfriend called or your wife called, they're not supposed to give out this information. Well, they didn't. So, but I don't know if he couldn't just say that. I mean, I don't understand. It was one of those things where I'm not even sure why Mark called in, to be honest. Sometimes you just have to leave these people to their own devices. But I think you're right, because Island Pearl goes on to say, he said it in such a way that seemed as if he was indicating that you, Auntie, should not have obtained that info because no airline will give out info on someone, insinuating there was indeed a breach. It was a very convoluted way in which he said what he said. Like I said, he no longer works for Cayman Airways. So, I do think, however, that he is very much aware of what the airline's policy is. And the policy is obviously very, very clear. And so no one at Cayman Airways breached their policy. I didn't talk to anybody at Cayman Airways that would have been in a position to tell me most of the things that I knew anyway. Like, how would Cayman Airways know that this guy did not use his own credit card? They wouldn't know that, So you got to pick sense from nonsense. Listen, as a non-journalist who's doing journalism work, what you need to understand is that we have our means of getting information. And so one of the things that I know for certain is that I never reveal my sources under any circumstances. And that is a position that as a journalist, we hold very, very firm to. There's no court of law. There was another situation well over a year ago where the ombudsman's office was trying to ask me where I got information from. And I was just like, did you just ask me that question? I'm not going to tell you my sources. And so then they kind of backed down because I had to remind them that in law, right, journalists is actually a protected category. And so I pointed out to them, I'm going to tell you exactly what I said to them. Let me just see if I can find my email here. I pointed out to them that I think this was July of last year, maybe. But I pointed out to them that no. You should not even be asking me this question. The fact that you think you can ask me a question about my source is really quite shocking, to be honest. And just trying to remember where. I think did it have something to do with the election? Yes. So this was where I pointed out that Joey Hugh actually was caught lying about the governor's office investigation. So this was after the election. Remember how I revealed to you guys that Chris Saunders, in fact, had been fired from his position as Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance and whatever else he is Minister of, right? And I actually obtained a letter. You guys might remember this. I actually obtained a letter that was signed by former Deputy Governor France Manderson in March of 2023, talking about the allegations of sexual harassment that was made against Chris Saunders by people, by civil servants, female civil servants. And so they wanted to know where I got that letter from. And I'm just like, come. Why didn't you go get ready first before you take it out? I think that'd make more sense. Look at Gigi's beautiful. I'm not going to show you her, but look at her beautiful hair. Y'all think I have nice hair? Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Smells beautiful. The curls are beautiful. So our little Dominican friend did Gigi's hair too. But go sort yourself out before you take it out of the ponytail. She doesn't wear it out that much, and so it is a lot to handle. So they were. That's exactly what happened to Strong Will, and that's why his ticket was canceled. But the ombudsman's office reached out and wanted to know, where did I get a copy of this correspondence from? And I thought, are y'all crazy? You were asking media where they got a copy of something from on the windshield. You know what? It was left on my windshield wiper, my windshield, like a lot of other documents, the virtual windshield. I'm like, no. You don't get to ask me that question. And so I had to respond to them legally about why they should not even be asking me that question. And of course, then they were kind of like, well, we were just wondering if you tell us. I was like, no, I won't be telling you jack-ish. Like, yeah, some people can play fool to catch wise. And if I was fool enough to allow them to catch me slipping, then obviously they were happy to do so. And I said, no, I'm not going to tell you where I got that from. Are y'all crazy? So I sent them a serious correspondence that they, I reminded them of what the law says and the protections that media get under the law, and they should be well advised. to follow that law and don't ever reach out to me again asking me for my sources. And so the same thing would happen now is if they decide to reach out to me in relation to this, they will get the very same response. I will just re-forward them the same email I sent them last year and say, need I remind you of the legal protections that are afforded to journalists in this country and the exceptions that fall even under your legislation. So no. So I can't recall if they ever responded to me. But anyway, I think that they got the point. And so I don't expect to hear back from them ever again asking me what my source is. I was like, y'all not easy. So in fact, what they said to me after I told them, I gave them an official response about data controllers, and we're not considered a data controller. So I don't know where they were going with this. When they eventually came back, there's certain things that they said. I'm just having a quick email here, a quick look at the emails. And it's like they already had come to a conclusion that a data breach had been committed, the way that they worded things. And I said, hold on a second. Are you kidding me right now? And so, they certainly did not bother to come with that line of inquiry. And I would suggest that they certainly don't do it in relation to this situation either. That would not be very wise. So I sent them a lengthy email and I copied my other journalist people in it. And I referred to the Data Protection Act 2021 revision, where it talks about under Schedule 2 of the Act, specifically recognizes several legal grounds, including, and of course, I laid that out. And then I talk about the special purpose exemption for journalists under Section 4 of the DPA defines special purposes to include journalism. And Section 22 provides a targeted exemption of personal data processed solely for these purposes. So again, when people don't know the law, they are certainly free to get out there and make all sorts of comments and all sorts of accusations. And they think that they're going to make some money off of the Cayman Islands government, off of Cayman Airways, because of what they believe was information we got from them, which isn't even accurate. But even if we did, there are exemptions in the law. And, but I'm not throwing Cayman Airways under the bus for something they didn't do. And my entire intent from day one was to bring some level of truthfulness and integrity to people who just jump in social media and say whatever they want and believe that that's the truth. I do want to say very, very clearly that just because someone says something, that doesn't make it truthful. And we should all be reminded of this. And this is why even when people come on this show, if you notice now, for many, many years, I have my means of bringing information to the public. When people come to me, oh, Miss Sandy, this happened to me and da-da-da-da. I said, okay, so you're willing to come on the show? If someone brings me a story and they're not willing to come on the show and speak on it, I'm already like, okay, what evidence do you have to back up what you've said? Okay, so just like that young lady with the whole situation at the court, she's making a very serious allegation about one of the court marshals. And I wanted her to come on, say it in her own words, and then be subjected to questions. We have questions. I have questions. We need to understand how you claim this happened. And, the fact that she was willing to come on and subject herself to the questions, to the criticism that she obviously knew would be coming her way, in my mind, says a lot about her in a positive way, right? And these people can't attack the truth. So once again, they try to attack people. Now, I also want to say this, I don't feel like I really have to address this in any great detail. But for those people who, and this was when CMR first got started, this was one of the things that was constantly being said about the platform that, oh, Sandy don't like Jamaicans. One thing I think about Jamaicans, they are some of the most, what's the word, patriotic people, but they also are a class of individuals. I'm going to just say this generally. Obviously, this does not apply to everyone, who do not like to be criticized. Maybe nobody likes to be criticized. I don't know, right? But even amongst themselves, like if you go in the Jamaican Gleaner any day of the week and you read some of the crime stories and some of what's going on, and you see it and you're like, okay, this happened. You recognize quite clearly people in the comments are like, oh my God, I can't believe this man murdered this child, him wicked. Jamaica's gone to the dogs. Y'all need Jesus. And the country is running blood and y'all wicked and blah, blah, blah. Their own people in there criticizing the country, the system, the government, calling each other wicked, all sorts of stuff. And I guess they don't like someone that they see as an outsider. And I'm sure Caymanians probably would feel the same way, being critical of them. But I'm not being critical of your country. I'm being critical of an individual who happens to be a Jamaican. And so this is where y'all get misguided, right? I'm not being critical of Jamaicans. I'm being critical of individuals, first and foremost, because of their behavior. And then the fact that they're a Jamaican, Canadian, American, Caymanian, whatever, West Bay, Georgetowner, is like secondary. So the criticism doesn't come about because of their nationality. The criticism comes about because of the behavior and what they did. If you just realize that one point, you would recognize that your argument about me not liking any particular nationality is not valid, right? Would I be talking about this man if he didn't do what he did, blaze up our national airlines, say all of these things that were completely false? Every single thing he said was false. That is why I had to address him. And then the way that he went about it, even if he had said, this was my experience, you're like, oh, how are you killing the man for his opinion? Once again, these are people who are using words like opinion who don't seem to even know what the word opinion means. He wasn't sharing his experience as an opinion. The man stated facts. He said, I booked with Cayman Airways. Then he kind of said, well, through Expedia. And I did this and I did that. Nothing he said was valid. He was criticizing the Cayman Airways staff at the airport in Jamaica. And they're not Cayman Airways staff. They work for an agent, a Jamaican company in Jamaica. And those are his own people. Right? So why he didn't address them and tell them how rude they are as a fellow Jamaican? So that's not his opinion. The man came stating facts. And then when I demonstrated that all the things that he said were not facts, then y'all talking about, well, he's entitled to share his experience, share his opinion. I'm just like, what? Y'all just make it up as you go along. That's the only conclusion that I can come to. And so this rhetoric, like I said, about, oh, Sandy, they don't like Jamaicans. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't even know how to respond to it anymore because I thought y'all had gotten over it, because I think my track record speaks for itself, that this has nothing to do with nationality. I talk about individuals, right? I talk about people. And that is something that you do well with trying to understand more, right? Strong Wilt says, as a Jamaican, to hear about the next natural disaster in regards to the Cayman response to Jamaica felt belittling. Okay, let me address this, all right? Because once again, I think the point was misunderstood. And perhaps it was my fault for, I don't know, I'll have to go back and see exactly what I said, but perhaps it was my fault for not really explaining this. So what I intended to say and what I thought I said was the fact that here is this guy lambasting our national airline. And yet when Jamaica had the devastating hurricane last year, the very first, and again, this is a fact, this isn't my opinion, the very first airline to land in Jamaica was Cayman Airways and the Cayman Islands government going there, showing solidarity and unity with the government of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica and offering help, right? So for him to now lie on our national airline, for him to degrade our national airline, talking about Cayman Airways, Masakimata, which is disrespectful. I mean, I'm not, when they say it to me, I'm not taking no disrespect for it because that don't mean nothing to me, really. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But he did say those things about our national airline. And I'm just pointing out that is the same national airline that went to Jamaica with goods on board, much needed supplies, the first airline to have landed in Jamaica, right? Why would anybody feel any way about me saying that? That's a fact. And I'm saying, you know, maybe because he don't live in Jamaica, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care about those things, right? Because he can go to Canada and live his best life. But the people in Jamaica should appreciate that. That isn't something that when people treat you good and they do good for you, you don't just discard that. You don't just ignore that and be like, oh, well, you know, we don't care, you know, what the Cayman Islands people do for us. We can, because you know what that's called? That's called being ungrateful. In the real world, you're being ungrateful. And that was my whole point, is how can you be ungrateful? How can you talk so negative about an airline and by extension, a country, right? That has shown in more recent times that we're here for you. So let's set the record straight on a couple of things if we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. So then a few people jumped in on that. Irvlin says, that's how I understood what you said. Buenos dias, Miss Alba. And that was the intent of how I meant it. It wasn't meant in any other way, but, oh, the next one that come, we not gonna help you or whatever. No one knows when the next one is coming. Thank God, so far we've had a relatively quiet hurricane season, but we know the height of the hurricane season doesn't happen until late August, going into that mid-September range, right? So we still got a long ways to go. Nobody knows if Ivan Part 2 is coming for Cayman this year or anything else. However, what I will say is this. When people make this point about, you know, oh, well, Jamaicans help build Cayman. Miss Gigi, can you get me some ice water, please, when you can go downstairs? I know, I said when you're going downstairs. So when they made this point about, oh, but we were there for y'all during Ivan, let me set the record straight, right? One thing with me is you can't come with information and you cannot come with lies. If I say something that is inaccurate, misinformation, it's not that I'm trying to lie. I might just have it wrong, but I am open to correcting the record immediately. I said when I saw that, and I have got family and friends, even when we were going to Jamaica after the hurricane last year, said, why is Cayman always helping these countries and they don't help us? I didn't touch it. I said, look, maybe they weren't in a position to help. I'm not really going there. When someone is having a moment like they're in the middle of a hurricane, what storm was that last year? Melissa or Michelle? Which one? And it devastates half of the country and it's going to have a global impact on the country for quite some time. I said, you know, just leave it alone. That's not the time to be like, oh, why didn't you all help us during Ivan? But people seem to have a real knack for trying to rewrite history. And I can't sit back as a person who has a presence in this country and allow people, Melissa, thank you, Irvlin, and allow people to rewrite history. Jamaica did not offer Cayman any help. And so what I did last week when I heard this, because I couldn't remember Jamaica offering it as any help, but I said, maybe that's been 20 years. Maybe my memory failed me. I reached out to a senior government official who was in government at the time. And I said, please remind me of the assistance that Jamaica provided Cayman. Because these people are saying it. I don't remember any help, but maybe I got it wrong. And they said, no, Jamaica didn't provide Cayman with any assistance. So then when I corrected those people saying that, then the next thing is, oh, but we came and help you rebuild your country. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the nonsense, please. You came to help us rebuild the country? Lord God, What you did was the insurance money was flowing post Hurricane Ivan, right? Lots of it. Yes, the country needed a lot of rebuilding. Jamaicans saw, here you go, ma'am. Jamaicans saw the opportunity for work. We even went as far as, yeah, just a little bit of ice. We even went as far as relaxing our immigration laws, right? Could get a work permit easy, didn't need police clearance and all kind of stuff in order to get workers here as quickly as we could. So we removed the legal barriers. Not a single Jamaican came to Cayman post Ivan and worked for free. They were paid. I can tell you a lot of them were paid higher wages than normal. Why? Because we needed to try to rebuild as quickly as we can. And the money was flowing. Let me tell you, post Ivan, I remember some people were just writing off vehicles just because they could. Because the insurance companies are writing checks left, right, and center. Nobody was doing us any favors. No one came here and worked for free. So when you go to another person's country, right, as a foreign laborer, and you are paid for your labor, that is not you helping the country and rebuilding the country. Do you guys legitimately believe, the people who've said this nonsense, right? Do you actually believe that if Jamaicans didn't come, we wouldn't have rebuilt? Child, please. The people waiting from all over the place. Jamaicans, stop this nonsense about y'all built Cayman. The Filipinos from halfway around the world are sitting there waiting to take your place. Huh? They're going to try to outpace you. They can do what you do and then some. With all kind of degrees and certification, don't be fooled. This ridiculous rhetoric that Jamaica built Cayman is nonsense. Oh, we built after Ivan. No, you didn't. You came and worked and you got paid for your labor. You got paid for your work. Thank you, Mama. You're going to go do some math downstairs? Get it out early. Get it done. Don't be looking at me funny. I'm just saying. Once it's done, it's done. You can enjoy the rest of the day. Okay. So, yeah. Nobody not came here and gave. Be careful. No one came here and gave anything for free. You worked and you were paid. And if you weren't paid, you needed to go to DLP and report that you weren't paid because you should have been paid. And a lot of you came here and did such shoddy work. I'm just saying, again, facts, go talk to the planning department, that they had to tighten some of the planning regulations and stuff after Ivan. What do you think they were trying to push through this regulation where, in order for you to be a developer, a builder, a contractor, you needed to have certain qualifications, and they were trying to tighten it, and then y'all started to kick back because of all the ish that went down post Ivan with poor construction. I'm not telling you. I'm not asking you, I should say, rather, I'm telling you. I've spoken to architects, I've spoken to construction people, I've spoken to people in planning, builders over the years, and they're like, the foolishness that went on after Ivan with construction was ridiculous. And it happened because, right, our people were in such a hurry to rebuild that a lot of things just really went down the gutter. So don't confuse things. And I want to make it very, very clear, because I gave this example in a video that I did over the weekend, right? I will even talk about my own family. My grandfather came from Jamaica, but he didn't come from Jamaica straight to Cayman. So he left Jamaica at the age of 13 and he went elsewhere in the world, right? And he went to Belize, maybe even the Bay Islands. According to 23andMe, we got family in the Bay Islands. I'm like, okay. On that side of the family, he was all over working. He came to Cayman. He wasn't coming to Cayman to build Cayman. What? No, he wasn't. He wasn't coming to Cayman to build Cayman. I'm going to say it again. People travel and migrate all over the world for better opportunities. Even myself, When I moved to the United States of America as a child, well, I didn't really, it wasn't entirely my choice. I can't say, oh, I went there to build America. No. I went there to better myself. I went there for better education, for better opportunities, for me. It's a very selfish motive, actually. But when you move to another country and you appreciate what that country has offered you in terms of an opportunity, you show your respect for that opportunity by doing the right thing. So you don't become a criminal. You don't take advantage of the people there. You work hard and you have the American dream. Cayman. A lot of you have had the Cayman dream. I'm not asking you, I am telling you. Cayman has offered an amazing opportunity to a lot of Jamaicans. I could name a lot of them. Now they have big time businesses in construction. Their families own restaurants, even sometimes hotels. And I can tell you the amount of money. And, if Caymanians had a little bit more oomph about us, every time somebody say, well, Jamaica built Cayman, you know what you would tell them? You would say, no, honey child. Cayman built Jamaica. How about that for you? Y'all think I'm joking? Do the math. How much of Jamaica's GDP comes from the, what do you call when they go overseas? The, what's the term I'm looking for? Oh, Lord. The, not expat workers, but it's like the same thing, but it's, somebody help me out here for the term that I'm looking for. Oh, yo. No, not, they send that money in remittance, but diaspora, right? Is that the right word? Diaspora, right. So the Jamaican diaspora goes all over the world to work. The country that has the most of them is the Cayman Islands. All sorts of workers, from domestic, construction, management, from the top straight to the bottom. Every element of Cayman has Jamaicans working in Cayman. And guess what? They're working to better themselves and to help their own family. And the majority are sending money back home to support family, build homes, build their life, whatever in Jamaica. So if anything, the proper argument that y'all need to be making is that Cayman built Jamaica. But you see, Caymanians too skittish, right? We gotta sit down and allow people to tell us, oh, somebody else built your country, and y'all don't say nothing, and y'all don't do nothing, and you take it like somebody, little lackey boy. No, let's talk facts here. Cayman has built Jamaica. Huh? How many Jamaicans have been able to come to the Cayman Islands and build multi-million-dollar businesses? And I'm not talking about multi-million Jamaican dollars. I'm talking about Cayman in US dollars. Huh? And can afford all kind of stuff if they decided to go back to Jamaica. Build entire lives. Some of them then jump from Cayman to the UK and never look back. So we have helped to build Jamaica. As small as a little country, we're like a fraction of Jamaica. Now not even 100,000 people, and more than 50% of them not even Caymanians. So don't come with your ungrateful attitude. Yes, I'm taking calls, honey child. Call me on the WhatsApp though, because I am overseas, so you have to do it as a WhatsApp call. So don't come with this ungrateful attitude about, oh, we built Cayman. Built Cayman how? You gotta give me examples. Helped after Ivan how? Y'all didn't give a single dollar. And when I said this to the government official, they said to me, well, Sandy, they probably never had it. That's fine. I'm not saying that they had to do it, If you don't have it, you don't have it. Okay? If Jamaican government didn't have it to give, they didn't have it to give. They have their own problems. But don't come now and recreate history. That's all I'm saying. Come straight. Because I've said this before and I want to make it clear again. Jamaicans and Caymanians are like cousins. Sometimes we fight and we fuss, but nobody should be closer as nations than us, because we do have a long-standing history. We do have a history of connectivity. Lots of Caymanians are connected to Jamaicans through marriage, through grandfathers, and whatever. So quite frankly, we should not be fighting and carrying on the way that sometimes we do. And that's why I tell people, don't bring it into my comment section with your nonsense. But we also have to be honest. You can't have a conversation, right, and not have honesty in that conversation. So Faded Mary Jean says, Cayman helped to build Jamaica. In what capacity? I just explained it. Show me the dollar amounts. Sadiqa say, you never lie, a true man. Show me the dollar amounts of remittance money that leaves Cayman every single year that goes back to Jamaica. You don't see that as financially building the country? Let me see if I can find out. Right? And that's just in remittance, and y'all be taking it in all forms. So you don't think a direct financial injection into your country through jobs. So here it is. About $110 million was sent from Cayman to Jamaica in 2015. That was 2015. Roughly $90 million in Cayman dollars. More recently, Cayman's regulatory report shows that Jamaica remained by far the largest remittance destination in Q1 of 2019. And again, unfortunately, we don't have more updated data. 53.6% of Cayman's 62.31 million total remittance outflows went to Jamaica, which is about 35.1 million for that quarter, about 30 million in CI dollars. So I can get more updated information from SEMA because, SEMA provides this information. How are you going to have a country sending over 50% of your remittance money, right, back home, and you don't see how that has helped to build Jamaica? Well, what are they doing with the money if they're not building their own country? Of course they're building it. It doesn't make any sense, right? Cayman provides jobs for thousands of Jamaican workers. Once again, do the math. For such a small country, how is it that the vast majority of our work permit holders happen to be Jamaicans and we're providing jobs, and that has a trickle-down effect on the Jamaican economy? Well, let me put it this way. If you're going to talk about who building who, and you're going to even bring the argument of somebody building someone, my position here today is the more factual thing to say. The more factual statement is that Cayman has actually helped to build Jamaica. That's a fact. Nobody in their right mind can make the argument the other way because you can't support it with any numbers and figures and facts. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning. Good morning, Miss Sandra. How are you today?
Good morning. Not bad. How are you?
Not bad, but the subject you're on, I had compelled to call you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion on Friday. Someone called me on the phone. I had a discussion with them about what happened at Cayman Airways. And I told them that from day one, I listened to your show and what happened with that whole thing. And I was adamant that I weren't going to accept what that guy did with Cayman Airways. I told them that you would not get on the show and say what you said if you didn't have facts. They don't swear me that Cayman Airways did wrong to this guy, and not all I could try to persuade them that what you said, you were telling the truth, and you wasn't going to get on your show that people listen to worldwide and say anything wrong if you didn't have facts. Sandra, I ended up telling him 3 times. I ended up telling this person 3 times to cut the argument. They refused to, and I hung up the phone. When I know in less than 5 minutes, this man, thank God it's me one in my office, this man came knocking on my door. I got up, I opened the door because I be in my office with the door locked. And do you know the blow up that he came in on me, that I pick up a 3-hole punch, and I told him, I said, you do not know who you are dealing with here today. I say, I will finish you. I say, your mother might have bring you. I said, because you guys, their national anthem, or go suck your mother. That is, I call it their national anthem, because that's all they can say. They have such nasty and dirty mouths. But you see, when we Imanians speak up and against what some of them do, don't get me wrong. Everywhere we go, you have good and bad.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the bad ones, the bad Jamaicans, make it sad for the good ones. I had a helper for 28 years. And April, I went down and buried that woman. She was one of the best people I had ever known in life. Anyway, I ended up, this is the man that came to Cayman, married someone for stay, ended up making life. Now that he have a couple of dollars that he thinks is on top of the world. But you know, I am a Caymanian that will speak up for my rights and my Cayman Island, because half of them come here, they make life like what you just say. When I say you hit the nail on the head, they are just pathetic and ridiculous. I ended up practically shoving him out of my office and closing the door. And let me tell you, he made me lose it, that I left my office and went straight to my doctor, that my pressure went so high. But the moral of that is that I stood up. I stood up for what I know was right, because I didn't feel within my heart that you were going to get on the radio and say that Cayman Airways what was wrong, when you know they didn't have anything to do with this situation. But I just needed to get that off, and I know he is probably listening.
Yeah.
And I pray and hope that he's listening, because from Friday, I blocked every number I had for him. I have helped him more than once. I have helped him with paperwork. I have helped him do many, many things.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, from Friday, I have blocked every number.
Oh, wow.
And I had to get rid of it here this morning, that they are ungrateful people.
It's unfortunate.
Most of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Anyway,
unfortunate.
Sandra,
Thank you, my dear.
It is unfortunate. You have a wonderful week that is coming up. You'll be back tomorrow, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
honey.
Okay, good.
You have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I mean, the sad thing about it, right, is, again, I'm not here trying to talk down anything about Jamaica. Like I said, in real terms, we are family. We are like cousins, right? But when you find people who are not willing to be honest about what is actually happening, that's where we have a problem. I can tell you right now, our closest cousins in the US, which is Marlon's cousin, now he's my cousin. Of course, he's a Jamaican like Marlon. He left Jamaica from the age of 9, and now he lives in the US, and he's an American citizen. He was saying to me the other day that he was listening to this female podcaster or influencer, whatever, Jamaican lady. And she was saying, you know, Jamaicans have a knack for living in a world that isn't realistic when they talk about themselves or they talk about their plight. She says, you know, they have this dream of, oh, you know, they can go back home, build a big mansion on the hill. Like all Jamaicans, I think, ultimately want to believe that they can do that they can, you know, and I guess everybody should want to go back home, you know, build your, and she's like, y'all know you're not going back home because you can't even go back home and feel safe in your own country. And I reflected when he told me that. He's a Jamaican. And I reflected when he said that. And I was like, you know, it's a sad reality. Years ago, there was there's some organization, I forget what they call themselves in Jamaica, that is like a repatriation organization. So where Jamaicans go abroad, then they come back home, And they have this organization, I guess the NPO, whatever. They actually had to issue a warning to them that when you come back home from from abroad, you need to be careful because you're being targeted by your own people. You are being targeted by your own people who now see you as, oh, you're rich, you went overseas, you made a bag of money, they're going to rob you, going to kill you, all this kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my God, that is so sad to know that you can't even, you have your fruits of your labor all these years, retirement come, you can't even go back home to Jamaica and retire and be in peace because your own people eyeing what you have. They're upset if you're driving a nice car, if you finally got the nice house. You put a target on your back when you accomplish certain things in Jamaica for yourself. And that is very, very sad. Sadiqa says, Cayman money, I can say build my country. We Jamaicans are too ungrateful. Totally agree. And listen, this is not an opinion. I am sharing facts and figures with you guys. I'll get more updated facts and figures to show you exactly what I'm saying. Sadiqa also says that's why we should live better as Caymanians and Jamaicans, and we should, right? But one of the things I realize, especially with this social media foolishness, is it gives everybody a voice. There's good and bad in that. Because people who don't even have any experience, who's never worked in Cayman, they will jump into the conversation and want to say negative things about Caymanians, but Caymanians don't like Jamaicans and this and that. I'm like, look here, I am not swearing for nobody. And I'm not going to say to you that I'm sure there's some Caymanians who can't stand the ground that a Jamaican walks on. But they are not the majority, right? Most Caymanians are liming with Jamaicans good. They're good friends with them. They got their Caymanian friends. And then outside of that, they've got their Jamaican friends. Like, I don't even understand it, right? There's no nationality in Cayman that is more integrated into our community than Jamaicans. And yet y'all gonna sit down and try to push this division story about how much Caymanians hate Jamaicans. Y'all don't talk about Jamaicans hating Caymanians though, which is a funny thing because I can see in a lot of the comments that's exactly what's going on. Why we don't speak the truth on that? This isn't a one-way street, Lots of Jamaicans can't stand Caymanians. They see us as, again, the cousin who got the better end of the stick financially in life. And, they're getting more than us. They're this, they're that, blah, blah, blah. They think they're something because, this and that, and they have money and blah, blah. Enough Jamaicans can't stand Caymanians for no reason other than they think we have succeeded better than them. That's a cold, hard truth that y'all need to talk about. I have no issues addressing it because, like I said, when you talk facts, we can talk facts. Now, here's a good point. Nico Phone Accessory says, good morning, Miss Sandra. No disrespect, but after watching your show for the past 5 years, I know you post most negative stories about Jamaica than positive ones. That's just my opinion. All right. It's a fair opinion, but I'm going to challenge you with this. Okay? I don't make up the news. I only report the news. The funny thing is, probably about 95% of what you read on the website right now is not me writing it. It is a Jamaican. I need you to understand me, Nico. I gotta say it again for you, okay? I employ a Jamaican who lives in Florida. Her name is Renee. Her mother is a domestic worker in the Cayman Islands. She has worked for CMR, at least 5 or 6 years. Most days, I don't need to communicate with her about what to put on the website. So she is putting up the stories. Put that in context with what you just said to me. You see, this is where facts matter. We are, let me make it clear, we are the only newspaper in Cayman that report on a regular basis on Jamaican news and Caribbean news. Nobody else does it. So that's the first thing. So you can't compare us to anybody else in Cayman in terms of reporting because nobody not reporting nothing that happens in Jamaica. Now, is it our fault that the majority of the news is bad when we don't make up news? Go look at any other publication anywhere in the world, including Jamaica, and ask yourself, same question, is the majority of the stories positive or negative? All right. We can test that theory this morning. What I would say to you is that is called a what I would call a bias opinion, right? I'm not saying that you meant it purposely or whatever, but your opinion of CMR, right, is that we're reporting mostly bad news. If I go on the Jamaican Gleaner, for example, and I pull the top 5 stories from today, right, I am willing to bet you that 90% of those stories are going to be bad news stories. 90% of it is going to be crime reporting. It's going to be this murder happened, this rape happened, blah, 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 blah. The funny thing is we tried not to report because we couldn't, because all we'd be doing is reporting Jamaican news. We don't report on the vast majority of what's happening in Jamaica at all, despite what I just said. My apologies. For some reason, I can't even mute my board. I don't know what's going on here. All right. Oh my goodness. Sorry. So if Renee is pulling 1 or 2 news stories here and there, but the vast majority of news stories being reported in any event is actually negative news, the bad stories, what does that have to do with us? I mean, look here, not a word of lie. I'm going to show you. I just opened up Facebook, right? Hold on. I got to prove my point here this morning. Because again, you're making the assumption that we are going out there purposely looking for news that's negative. And I can tell you that's not the case. Look at this story. I literally just opened up Facebook because I was going to go find Jamaican Gleaner. I not even get to Jamaican Gleaner yet. And the very first story that comes up from the Times Caribbean group is reggae artist and Bob Marley One Love actor Ras, what's his name? Ajay dies in Portmore, right? And then it tells you how this guy, basically Waterford raised entertainer, remembered for his conscious music, acting, whatever, and he was killed in a Portmore shootout. And they just posted that 20 hours ago. So I was coming on here to go and have a look at Jamaican news. Before I even get to it, a Caribbean publication is reporting that this man was just gunned down and shot in Portmore. What I would say to you is you can check any news group you want, okay? And check and see what stories they're reporting, whether it's, let's go to Jamaican Gleaner, whether it's the Jamaican Gleaner, the Observer, I don't know what other newspaper, whatever newspapers are there, right? Go on their websites, go on their social media pages, and show me where they're reporting more positive news, and somehow we're only reporting the negative. See, same story 4 minutes ago, talking about the same guy, 43-year-old musician and actor, was gunned down in a devastating blow, leaving the family struggling to process the tragedy. So it's not that we are reporting just the negative news, right? This one, he's blasting the U.S. government, Partnership Council. Now this is their cartoon. What does their cartoon say? Talking about the bad potholes in the road. That's not positive. Now this one's a good news one, which we published. And this was the young guy there who broke the world record in the 800 meter. We put that up from yesterday within probably an hour of that happening. Who else in Cayman reported that? Nobody. So it's not a question of us reporting bad news. I mean, if that's a majority of what's coming out and that's a majority of what we get, then it is what it is. Someone sent me one, oh gosh, when was that? A couple days ago, about this guy in Jamaica. Hold on. I think he was in the US, maybe, who was being deported for some situation again. Let me tell you what this one was. This story was, oh man, I can't remember. Some mixed up story, being arrested and deported and whatever. If I tell you how many of the so-called negative stories that we actually try to ignore and we don't post. So this is what I'm saying to you, right? Listen to me carefully. I hear what you're saying, and I thank you for your opinion, but the facts are that number one, we do not make up the news. Number two, we only report the news. And if the vast majority of news happens to be negative, it is what it is. You could say the exact same thing about Cayman News, that the vast majority of news in Cayman is negative because that simply is what makes news. That is why we have encouraged the government to take advantage of the Ministry Matters segments where they come on and they tell us the good news. They tell us what their ministries have been doing, what they as government officials have been doing, right? What do you have going on? What's positive, et cetera, et cetera. Because otherwise people don't hear those stories. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, dear.
Well, this is why I've written before and said to people that the lack of teaching real history to children, not only here in Cayman, but also in Jamaica, has served the population very wrongly. Look, if we're going to look at all of this, we have to understand the historical context. First, I'm going to say this straight off the bat. There was a time not too long ago in history when Caymanians had to go find work in Jamaica, among other places.
Right. That's right.
And they went through hell in many instances from being hated upon for coming over there and disregarded and insulted and so on, right? But let's look at the power vacuum that was created post-independence in Jamaica. And that was the middle of the Cold War. And in that Cold War, the Soviets and the Americans were both fighting for power. And Seaga and Manley, they paid $10 Jamaican a head. They took Jamaicans' love of an good old Western movie at the cinema. And they paid $10 a head to go and shoot, kill, and murder people from rival political groups and rival parishes. They put a bullet in Bob Marley for trying to bring people together. That was the creation of the posses. Now we have a Jamaica where criminality, gangsterism has become a celebrated thing. It is not Cayman or anybody else's fault that Jamaica is known as a murder capital. What is encouraging is that 2024 saw a much higher rate. 2025 had a lesser rate. I think it was somewhere around shy of 700 murders. But it is still a very violent society. So whoever it is that's complaining, look in your own house, deal with your own thing. Don't get something stuck up your metaphorical butt about people realizing the realities, work towards make it better, work towards stop celebrating and teaching children to celebrate gangsterism. Jamaica is known as a fraud capital. Okay, this is accepted as long as somebody is boasted big up, has the card that gives them stature instead of the person who works their ass off, honestly. Okay, and when that thought process enters within a community or a country's consciousness, it can do nothing but bad to the people ultimately. And that is not Cayman's fault, y'all. That is not Cayman's fault, nor any other countries. If you want to really study history and understand what happened at the hands of the British, weakening their economy prior to and post-independence in order to make themselves look better, yes, there is historical context there. But first of all, you have to be willing to speak the truth, to acknowledge the truth in every parameter, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the ill will that Jamaicans feel against Caymanians and the other way around, listen, I've heard this crap so many times. We built this country. Listen, man, I don't know why people have to have this bad attitude. But on the other hand, Sandra, let's look at what has happened in Cayman over the last couple of decades. A lot of Jamaicans came here to live and work, build their lives. Not all of them left. A lot of them just moved over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it ended up becoming, and there is definitively a fault on the part of Cayman, thinking that a Jamaican is somebody just to come over, use and abuse, work their ass off because of the position Cayman found itself in. That's why you ended up seeing the Asian communities coming into Cayman, because a lot of people didn't want to deal with a bad attitude of the Jamaican. If anybody truthful, they're going to recognize that as a fact that it is.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So
now
both
the Jamaicans are upset because they recognize that, listen, say what you want about a Filipino, and some of them can be trusted, just like all nationalities, right? Some of them scammers, everything, as we have pointed out on the show. But a lot of them come as highly skilled and highly qualified people, and they understand that they're not coming here to talk about they built Cayman. They're coming here for that dollar. Okay.
They're coming here for the dollar, and they're making their
if they gotta and if they have to adjust their attitude, the difference with them is their attitude is different. So if they have to adjust their attitude until they get where they want to get, because they switch up too. But if they have to adjust their attitude and kiss the bottom of your foot, right, so that they can get that job and do it, they're going to do it. They know how to be subservient. That is in their nature to a certain extent. Jamaicans don't know nothing about being subservient to nobody. They come into your house and they run in the show like they're the ones that you work for and not the other way around. So I mean, there's
true for everybody,
no. I'm not saying. Listen,
certainly exists.
This is not everybody.
Very careful about speaking in any
No, I want to be very, very. This is what I'm going to say here, Jonathan. Take everything with the majority versus. You know what I'm saying? So not everyone comes with this attitude. Just like I said, not all Filipinos come with a good work ethic and attitude. Some of them start to scam people straight off the plane too. Right?
Any other group. And I mean, look.
But they by and large,
those from the Great White North or those from Central South America.
Yeah.
You know, they have the good, the bad, and the ugly within that.
But let me say this though. By and large. Yes, and by and large, they're the ones that most Jamaicans need to worry about when it comes to competing with their job. How do I know this? Because the Jamaicans calling and complaining to me, the hairstylist, then they'll text. I had one a couple of months ago, Miss Sandy. As soon as one Filipino came into workplace, I've been here 5-6 years, no problems. As soon as one comes, she starts to push out the Jamaican so she can bring her cousin and sister and everybody else in the Philippines. So I'm telling you,
what happened with the Jamaicans in the first place.
A lot of the Jamaican workers are feeling direct pressure from the Filipino workers in terms of the same jobs, they're going after the same jobs, etc. Jonathan, thanks for the comments. Leave me there.
Yeah, there's more to be said here, but I will just close with this. Go buy your child or go and buy yourself a copy of Born for Dead. If you're Jamaican and you care about Jamaica and you want to find a better way forward, go and buy yourself the book Born for Dead. Learn about the history, who created it, who created the process. Stop accepting the gangsterism mentality and thought process. Stop celebrating it, because you're not doing yourself or the unborn children of your island any favors by doing so.
Thank you, my dear. I mean, you know, I can only wish him the best of luck, because I'm concerned about the foolishness that's going on in Cayman. When you talk about nation building, we now have to focus on our own country and what is happening right here in the Cayman Islands. So Sydney, good morning, Sydney. Another one of my Jamaican friends says, good morning, all. Good morning. All that you stated on your program last week was factual. He should be ashamed to mention that his mother's working here in the past. That simply means that he benefited from her working here. Oh, I didn't even know that. He said that? Wow. Lee says, but Sandy, did Jamaicans talk bad about your airline, or did one Jamaican national did it? So it did kind of sound like you were generalizing to everyone. Well, here's what happened, Lee, is that he posted his video, right? And then, as you always have, people got into the comment section and then started lambasting Caymanians. Who do you think was doing that but Jamaicans? I'm not saying it's everybody. Like Jonathan just said, when I'm making statements this morning, I'm not saying everybody, all of them did it. No, but a good number of people were in the comment section talking bad about our national airline, extending it to talk bad about Caymanians, about how we don't like Jamaicans, this, that, and it became this broader conversation. So I am addressing the broader conversation that was happening even from his initial video before I even ever responded to this man. Because remember now, before I responded to him, he did multiple videos, you know. When he did the first one about Cayman Airways and he had his ticket in his hand, and then he did the next one about, oh, me reach, Cayman Airways, go suck your mother. You think if he didn't get the response from the first video, with people in the comment section trying to blaze up Cayman Airways and blaze up Caymanians, whatever, that he would have even done a second video? Come on. This is social media. He's trying to live off of the hype. And that is why he continues to do what he does, because his own people, and yes, they are Jamaicans, getting in the comment section and supporting his rhetoric and supporting his hate. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying every Jamaican is doing that. The sensible Jamaicans are entertaining this man. They say, boy, this man, I know, like we're not class with him. We don't think like him. Irvelin says, Auntie, the parable, the man that shit in the bush never remembers is the one who steps in it. Perfect scenario here. Anthony says, on the flip side, we can say that the Chinese built Jamaica then. Let's hear the rebuttal. Kiss my teeth. I bet you know Jamaica, I'm not going to tell you that. But literally, they're building your roads, though. They're giving you money. The more that we can say about what Jamaica doing for gay man. I'm just saying. Strong-willed says disagreement between individuals in different countries should not incite separation amongst us. That would really be the goal. Nick's asking about the speak on my Sunshine Network girls and their beautiful achievement. Well, you have to send me some information because I don't know anything about it if you don't send it. So send it through. Faded Mary Jean says the relationship between Jamaica and Cayman goes further than Ivan. Maybe this is what people are referring to because Jamaica went independent, I would assume. But Jamaica still didn't build Cayman. Even the historical context of what Jamaica was doing, Jamaica was just simply administrators for the UK, right? Because the UK was like, oh, y'all all the way over there, too far, whatever. Just send us one report on our territories in that area. Because of the close proximity between Jamaica and Cayman, right? Back in those days, if there was a census, if they wanted to know what was going on in Cayman, they just asked the people in Jamaica, oh, just send us the report because nobody, not really, Cayman's so small, whatever. And that's how that happened. So once again, I go back to my family example. My grandfather would have come here, I don't know exactly what year, but whatever year he came here, he never came here to build Cayman. He came here for opportunities. Just like our seamen, as Jonathan rightfully said, Caymanian seamen went abroad. We went to the Bay Islands, Nicaragua, New York, Tampa, St. Petersburg, different Texas. You find Caymanians in Texas. You think we going to say to the Americans that we built America? Or we built Tampa because there's a seaport there and a lot of us were there working on your ships? You have never heard as much as Caymanians, and this is crazy, right? But as much of Caymanians actually went out to sea. You have never heard a Caymanian say that they built even the company bulk carriers, right? Oh, we built bulk carriers. And bulk carriers had as many Caymanians as they could get working on their ships. But Caymanians never had that mentality that we built anywhere. Because you know what? Our men were going overseas, looking for jobs because we couldn't find any at home. There was no work. Working hard, and then sending the money home to build their own country. That is analogous, the same thing that Jamaicans are doing, that Filipinos are doing, that, British people coming to Cayman are doing. So you can't come to Cayman tell me you built Cayman. You never built Cayman. So I really need y'all to step off of that argument because I'll tell you what, Caymanians find it to be an insulting argument because it's not true. And the ones who know their history are like, Sandy, you can't allow these people to continue to say this because it is not true. Marshall says helping a country after disaster is doing what Cayman did. Went to Jamaica with a check in hand and medical and other essential supplies and didn't expect anything in return. That's helping a country rebuild. Where's my kaboom button? Chad, I don't even think I have one, but it don't even work. I don't know. Nothing on my board is working. It's so weird. Okay. YouTuber says then they should go back and rebuild Jamaica after Melissa. Morning again to Miria. Live Happy says your grandfather was not Jamaican. He was British. Jamaican was under UK rule back then. He was Jamaican. You can't ask no Jamaican back in the 20s and 30s if they wasn't Jamaican. Yes, they were British rule, but that's like asking a Caymanian. You're not Caymanian because we're British rule still? Of course you are. Elmira says, good morning. Totally agree. All the people went and got paid. Very good pay. And they also learn a lot because Cayman is a school. Thank you so much, Cayman Islands. God richly bless and keep you safe. Thank you, Miss Elmira. Just catching up on a few comments here. I'm aware of the time as well. And I promised that I would not go into overtime on vacation. So, you know. RMR says remittances from the Cayman Islands to Jamaica comprises roughly 60% of total inbound flows to Jamaica. That's a lot when you consider the size of Cayman, folks. Sadiqa says the amount of businesses, houses, lands that they buy in Jamaica because of the opportunities Jamaicans got in Cayman to work and achieve so much. My people are very ungrateful. Not speaking for everyone, though, but some Jamaicans are disgusting. And again, none of my comments here, like I say, who the cat fit, then you wear it. You know if you're in that category or not. Island Pearl caller, he came to your job with intent to have, with intent, you should have reported him to the RCAPS and have him, oh my God. Okay. Again, if you can send the information about the Sunshine Girls netball team, that would be great because we don't know anything about it. I mean, it is shocking to me that some people think we know everything. And as much as, you know, listen, the CMR team is very, very small. And I do encourage Renee, like she's obviously monitoring all the social media pages as much as she can. You know, she's monitoring links to stay on top of things. There's still things that we're going to miss. I really wish that we had like a dedicated sports person because I do feel that the one area that a lot of stuff kind of gets missed is in the world of sports. Granted, we're the only two that reported that young Jaden Reed went pro over the weekend. We reported the record-breaking Jamaican guy there with the 800 meter, a record that has stood for quite some time. I think 20, 25 years or something. He broke that, you know, because Jamaicans are known more for the short distances or sprinters, and that's the field that they've dominated. For him to go into the 100 meter and take that is an amazing accomplishment. So big shout out and congratulations to him. Once again, we're the only local paper that reports on these things. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Compass don't give two cahoots about Jamaican news. And you know, this is also where it's kind of sad for me because when people talk about, oh, Sam, they don't even like Jamaicans. If I didn't like Jamaicans, another big question is why would I be reporting on Jamaican news at all? Right? I recognize that a good portion of our followers and readers and friends and everything are Jamaicans. And so they appreciate the coverage coming out of Jamaica. We have had Jamaicans on our show, on our top program, talking about different things that are happening in Jamaica. Nobody else don't do that because they don't care. Right? I don't know. Roar Cayman says the way Jamaicans behave is the biggest issue when it comes to them. They have a beautiful country and there are many good Jamaicans out there like everywhere else. However, the mentality a certain percentage hold on to is unfortunate. They envy us as a people and behave very ungrateful. And then they like to say that we think we are God and all this nonsense. Anthony says we're blaming Papa Trump for taking a hard stance to take some of these animals from all over the world out of his country. I can't support what Trump does, though, because the way that he does it is totally different. You can't. I'm all for following the law and immigration enforcement, but how he is going about it is the problem. I don't have an underlying problem with how he claimed, at first it was just criminals. Well, he's not just going after criminals. And the other day I was reading an article about how children as young as 13 years old are now showing up pregnant in these immigration detention centers because these ICE monsters go and pick up people's children. Some of them are raping people and raping people's children in government custody. I can't support what Trump has done. So I don't even want to hear that man name because he's disgusting. His immigration policy is just off the fucking chain. And honestly, he not even doing it for the right reasons. He's targeting people of color and Black people. Y'all saw this thing over the weekend where all the African, not all of them, but a good number of African countries have to pay upwards of $20,000 to be able to get a business or visitor's visa into the US. No white country is listed on that, South Africa is not in it. It's all the poor African nations. Trump is a bigot, and his history proves it. So we not comparing nothing good to him. Island Pearl says there are tons of stories and posts I have seen where they send money home to build a house, and then their family and people scam them and make them believe that they have something to come back to. Roar says we open up our country and allow them in and other nationalities to come and make a better life, and they have the audacity to want to come, change and take over, and even try to upset us on our own ground. Which other nationality does that? Which one? And this is why they get highlighted so much. Thank you. Roar came with more recent figures. Says in 2022, total remittance from Cayman to Jamaica accounted for roughly 5.5 to 6.9%, equating to an estimated 189 to 237 million dollars. That's a lot of money. Jones Chapo says we need unity, and I agree with that, Jones, but we cannot have unity, right, where we can't have a conversation. We can't be honest with each other about what's really happening between us. And here's the other thing that's important to note. One thing I noticed with Jamaicans is only their opinion matters, right? And this is why a lot of them up in their feelings about me. I saw one woman did a thing on me about, what you said about Storm and this, that. She didn't even understand what I said. This is a part that I'm like, you're not even understanding it, but you want to jump on it and have my name up in your mouth. It's like, what? Are you people serious right now? Somebody said you need to play Cartel song. Because what Cartel say? You can't yam if I don't shit. Because y'all be on my name like white on rice. Like, seriously. Here's the thing, okay? You cannot tell me that in my own country, I can't sit on this platform or any other platform and have a discourse and have a show as a Caymanian. So Jamaicans want to silence Caymanians in their own country? We can't speak up about what we think, how we feel, because then when we do, we hating on people, we're this, we're that, and they're purposely messaging me, sending all these hateful comments. Thank God my shoulders broad and my back strong, because y'all not impacting me. Like I tell them, they're not paying my bills. I'm good. Until whatever they say is paying my bills, then we really and truly, I mean, I really care to that extent. But I understand very, very clearly the mentality. Oh, Auntie Sandy, she's hateful. Why? Because I speak out on the truth? How can that be? This is my country. Well, I'm not in it right now, but you know what I mean. When I'm there, Cayman is my country. I will gladly speak out on it. I have lived in another man's country for far too long, 15 years of my life, and I chose to go back. I did not have to go back. I was in a sweet spot. I had just finished my first university degree. I already had my US residency. I could have well stayed in America and built and made my life there. But this is one of the reasons why I feel so strongly about trying to get Cayman on the right path. Because I lived in someone else's country, and I thank America for that experience because it made me who I am today. Right? That's why I don't try to disrespect the country. I don't disrespect their flag. My daughter said to me the other day, Mom, every one of these homes have an American flag outside. I said, yeah, that's pride. That's national pride. We need to do that as Caymanians. Every single Caymanian should own a Caymanian flag. Put it outside. Hold that up proudly. That is the degree of pride that we should be having. I'm still on my show. You wanting to join? I'll send you the link. All right. No. So, this is the thing, right? We need to have more of that. But I don't want nobody telling me that as a Caymanian, I can't speak up in my own country. I can't speak the truth, whether it's about our national airline or whatever. I can't call people out. So yeah, this started with one guy, but this became a broader conversation about how Jamaicans seem to believe and think. Right? That in my own country, they have a say that nobody else can speak. I mean, it's just nonsense and it's ridiculous. And that is what insults me, right? When they're trying to attack me because I'm speaking up for Caymanians, I'm speaking up for this little country that is so tiny that at one point in time, we did not even exist on maps, and it wasn't that long ago. I'm talking about like the 80s, when people be like, where are you from? People in Tampa, I'd say the Cayman Islands, they didn't even know where that was. It wasn't on the map. And we have accomplished amazing things. And we have Caymanians now all over the world accomplishing amazing things. So I don't care who you are and where you're from. I'm not going to allow you to down talk on my country. I'm not going to allow you to say bad things about my national airline when it's not true. I mean, if the man was speaking the truth, then that'd be a different story. YouTuber says, one thing I've learned is that once you speak anything that's not in the Jamaican favor, they take it personally and start to get ignorant. And why? You know what I'm saying? I have a track record of holding people accountable. My God, my own family. Somebody even tell me that my niece, she jumping on the bandwagon with some guy about, oh yeah, I made her lose her job. I didn't make her lose her job. Some of my own family can't get their behavior together. And I call them out the same way. When they're losing jobs, they're being arrested. That's on them. I'm simply here to report the news. And I'm making it up on them. I'm like, I made her lose her job, not the video with her beating somebody in the middle of the streets. That one made her lose her job. Yeah, okay. Trust me when I tell you the same energy I have for anybody on this platform is the same regardless of where you're from. When you're getting involved in foolishness, it's as simple as that. Strong Will says, as small as Cayman is one of the world's largest offshore financial centers, giving them a great advantage over Jamaica, relatively small investment. Thousands of hedge funds and mutual equity structure domiciled here. Cayman is a global financial hub. And listen, I'm not trying to make this a pissing competition of us versus them, you understand? But we need to speak facts. And this is a fact now. Thank you, YouTuber. Says Jamaicans need to speak about how their own Jamaicans that came here and got papers treat their own like crap. So it's so funny when they talk about Caymanians don't like Jamaicans. But what they really need to talk about is quite a number, and I see it every single day, quite a number of Caymanians now, status holders is what I'm talking about. Their own people who have been here for decades and got status, take out work permits, and they treat Jamaicans worse than anybody else. They treat their own people horribly. That is what they need to talk. One guy was talking about, they're raising your children and they're doing this and doing that. First of all, y'all better not make nobody raise your children. You raise your own damn children. If you have a domestic worker, their job isn't to raise your children. I mean, they're there to help with certain things, but they should not be raising your children. But again, the point here is You shouldn't be mistreating anyone regardless of where they're from when they work for you. I have Miss Stacy work for me. You think I would mistreat her? What's the sense of that? Why are you going to have people employed and then mistreat them? That's not right. And ultimately, I'm trying to stand for what's right, regardless of who it is. Now, I know for a fact that her last employer before me, that's the funniest thing, right? That is how I actually met Stacy. I'll never forget it. During COVID, I was at the airport and she approached me. She's like, oh, I see you and I know of you and whatever. And I was like afraid to approach you. And I was like, okay. I don't know why, because I don't be biting people. But she's like, I have a situation with this woman who owes me money, my employer, and she hasn't paid me and owes me all this money and da-da-da-da. And I said, oh. I said, well, that's not good. So I said, take down my number, because I was doing a news coverage thing at the airport. I said, take down my number, message me, and let me see if I can help you. Come to find out her employer was Ruth Anna. Kind of sad. And then I helped her get her money back. She's like, wow. And that's how we got to talking. And then she said to me, some other person wanted her to come and work for them. But some bamboozling thing where, she must pay for her own permit, this, not. I said, no. I said, look here, I know you want to remain in Cayman, but you should not break the law to remain in this country. You really shouldn't do that. And so I said to her, I might be looking for someone, so, let's talk. Now I forget how many years I've been now. What? We're going 5-6 years? Sandy, even in the guy comment section on TikTok, some of the people there are Caymanians too. I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, who knows who they are, because a lot of these accounts, they be trying to hide behind all kind of foolishness and whatever. But yeah. So, but that is my point, Lee, is those same people, regardless of who they are and where they're from, they have an issue with me because they ultimately have an issue with accountability and the truth. So of course they're my own people. I'm telling you, some of them are even family. Why? Because I have called them out as well. So that's why I can tell you without fear of contradiction. This has nothing to do with no anti-Jamaican mentality when it comes to me. So yes, I have called out lots of Caymanians. I would probably say way more Caymanians than anybody else, because we know their business, right? But the one guy, I don't know, he's friends with the other fella there, right? Oh, nobody in Cayman likes you. I was like, son, please, you need to talk facts, okay? But first of all, this is not a likability competition. I don't sit here doing the show and doing what I do because I need people to like me. And I think that's also where they get a little bit confused. For them, TikTok is like how many likes they can get, how much attention they can get, I don't know, liking people. I'm just like, this is serious business for me. I don't need friends. I don't need y'all to like me. But please be honest and tell the truth, right? So when you're going to tell the truth, I said, ask those people, right? And I challenge anybody now who can call in and say, they have a problem with me, they hate me, whatever. Okay, why? Why? Give an example. Oh, you always be reporting on stuff that's not true about Jamaicans. I said, really? Give me an example. Well, that's what people tell me. Okay, give me an example. Where is the examples? The devil is in the details. Mouth can say anything. And when it comes down to facts, that's what I'm dealing with. So no doubt there should be plenty of Caymanians that have an issue with me, because every time they're out here stealing from companies, losing their job, doing this, doing that, I calls them out. You think I have business with them just because they're Caymanians? As a matter of fact, they make me more shameful. Let me read this story to you. Let me read this post, right? A young lady sent this to me the other day. Hold on one second. Let me try and think of her name now. Yeah. I'm not going to call the young lady's name, but she sent me this on ironically on TikTok, but because I don't really, I can't remember when she sent it, but because I don't really watch, I don't go on TikTok that much. But this is what she said. She said, Miss Sandy, I had to bring up the courage in me to message you. I am, and she gives her name, so-and-so's niece and so-and-so's daughter. I just want to say that for the longest while, I had been upset that you posted me up about my crime while working in government. I've since recognized that you were only doing your job, not upset anymore. I'm upset with myself for doing what I did. I regret it big time, and now I'm paying the price for committing a crime. Right now, I'm seeking a job because as of the 1st of August, I will not have employment, and due to that crime, it is extremely hard to get back into government. My children have been affected by it, and it has hurt me ever since I realized that. I have told people on numerous occasions, one thing with Ma Road, she's not biased. You bring out news on everyone. I do appreciate your content now. It makes me laugh on a bad day, and it opens my eyes as well. I love the fact that you do not make the haters and trolls get to you. All love from me, Miss Sandy. May God continue to bless you and your family. And this was a young lady who, yes, I mean, her crime was horrible against the government. It was fraud against the Cayman Islands government. We had to report on it. We had to dig a little bit into her business when we did the reporting. She's a Caymanian, right? So I think that people just need to be honest. No, Nico, I'm not saying nothing about no. Where did you put it? I mean, y'all think people see stuff, but if you don't see it, you don't see it. Right? Sorry, don't see it. Anthony says the heavy focus on negative news in Jamaica media is driven by audience attraction to violence, fast life, ill gains, weed, sex, fornication, and deception. And that is nothing that is unique to Jamaica, folks. That is the world. The vast majority of the stories reported, unfortunately, not going to be feel-good stories. Sorry. Right? You're not in court because you feel good. You're in court because you did something wrong. That's just how it is. Garrett says the majority of news is bad news. YouTuber says Jamaicans should hold their countrymen accountable, but that will never happen. They rather get offended and play victim. And then the whole world becomes bad mind, very ignorant thoughts. And again, Cayman is no doubt going in the exact same direction as well. How many times we post a video and people on here trying to defend the behavior? And it's all ridiculous. Thank you, Faith. I try to drink my water. Yes. Live Happy says Jamaicans only have mouth outside of Jamaica. The Chinese are taking over Jamaica, selling them like their own river water while they fight each other. Y'all better try to reunite. That's all I know. Evelyn says sad. It's true. When you're in another man's country, be respectful, man, says Roar. TB Parkinson says facts. Jamaicans should ask why many of them are disliked. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'm gonna wrap it up, right? So one of the things he said is about, about as a woman, people not even as a woman, people are not even defending you. Let me be very, very clear here. I have what should I say? Our housekeeper said on the weekend that the JA community are mad at Sandra Hill. She said if she went to Jamaica, she'd receive a proper beating, man. Exact words, just saying. Your housekeeper, and your housekeeper is an expert, John LaRue. I go to Jamaica all the time and I get no beating from nobody. I wouldn't say all the time, but I go to Jamaica and I don't get beat from nobody. So she speaks for the entire Jamaican community. Poor her. What a mess. Meanwhile, the people that consistently stop me on the streets saying what an amazing job I'm doing. Number one, Filipinos. They love me like cook food. Always want to take pictures, whatever. And then right behind them are the Jamaicans. And this is why, all Jamaicans don't like Sandy is a bunch of crock. So your helper might not like me, and maybe whoever she's talking to, her friends, that's their position. But on a regular basis, I get Jamaicans who are like, Miss Sandy, you must keep up the job you're doing. Don't pay them bad mind people. No, honestly. But she's entitled to her opinion. Her statements and her opinion doesn't make it factual. And that's the thing that we have to try to appreciate and keep. I'm going to turn this light off because now we're getting a lot of light. That's the thing that you have to appreciate. That you have to appreciate, John. So she can have her opinion all she wants, and your housekeeper, okay, she'll be fine cleaning your toilets. I mean, like, I'm really going to be all that bothered by what she thinks. It's fine. She has an opinion, and just like everybody else who has a butthole, people have their opinions, and it's perfectly fine. And it does not change the price of rice in China. I can assure you of that. But let me get back to this point quickly before we wrap up here today. The one guy said something about, oh, you're a woman and not even as a woman. Stop the nonsense. Jamaicans respect women. Caribbean men respect women. Cayman men respect women. Come now. Let's have a coming to Jesus moment as a woman. Men in general do not like strong women. When you have something to say, hey, Anita, how you doing? When you have something to say as a woman in particular, people gonna lambast you. It's ridiculous. Only a man must have an opinion. We see it all the time. Right? People, generally speaking, do not like strong women. Oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's this. She's that. Let me make myself clear. Some communities, I know, I see it's because the light has changed since I've been doing the show, and it really hold on, let me see if I can adjust it, because it doesn't really look good anymore. The lighting has changed. It's impacted it definitely. I don't think I can adjust it while I'm in the middle of it though, but let's see. Yeah, it's not gonna. The exposure is now wrong. Anyway, what I was saying is, there, that helped. Oh yeah, that helped quite a bit. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, women in particular who are very opinionated and who come with facts and who are straight shooters are called all sorts of derogatory names, not just unique to Cayman, but I find Caribbean men really have a hard time with a strong woman. Black men, and I think there's a whole, you could dig deep into this one, the whole slave mentality. They have a real issue with a strong vocal woman. I don't have any fairy tales in my head about the world in which I operate as someone who is a woman first and foremost, is a woman of color, speaks her mind, comes with facts and figures, and I know how some of y'all feel about that whole combination. That's why not every man can even talk to me on a personal level, because y'all like, oh, well, she's so much more successful than you. I don't need a man for anything. I can pay my own bills. I'm financially secure. All the movements you see me making in business, yeah. I don't have to be touching my husband's salary. I tell my husband he works to keep his sanity, because I think it's important, to keep your brain working, right? He doesn't have to work if he didn't want to, but I appreciate the wonderful health insurance that his company offers. Wink, wink. So that matters. So I'm like, you work for that health insurance, honey, child, because we as a family need that. But seriously, I know how challenged men are. When a woman makes a statement like, why are you saying that? That's what most Caribbean men, you're talking about. I don't like Jamaicans. Caribbean men are difficult on a regular basis to deal with, because they seem to have an issue, probably more so than other nationalities, with a strong, independent woman who doesn't need you, right? She may want you in her life, but she doesn't need you in her life. And there is a difference. But too many of you are extremely disrespectful to women. Like when he said that to me, I'm like, child, please. When he said that in his little TikTok video, I'm like, I bet you the same ones who'll be cussing out your mothers and your aunts and whatever. You guys don't respect women. If y'all respected women, you wouldn't be going after these young little girls that you go after. Because you could think that 9-year-old at one time, my mother was a 9-year-old. My sister was a 9-year-old. My aunt was a 9-year-old. We should protect all children, and little girls need respect and protection. So I find it ironic when these people make these kind of comments like, oh, as a woman, she's not like, no. That implies that somehow you have respect for women. And I know that's not the truth. You would never even use the term suck your mother to nobody if you respected women. How about that? Start with the things that you say and the things that come out of your mouth. The funny thing is, right? Jason from Everything 345, I had a brief conversation with him over the weekend. And I said to him, Jason, how long have I known you now? I was trying to remember. Because he works for a guy who has a moving company. And so what that means is Jason actually was my mover. So I knew him when we moved into our house, which was about over 9 years now, like 9 years ago. Okay. We moved into our house and we used Jason from then. So I probably would have known him a little bit before then. I can't remember when I first started using him, but I used them to like deliver stuff for me, whatever. So, but I knew Jason before Everything 345 existed. And I knew him before Cayman Mall Road existed, right? Jason is a Jamaican. He's a really cool guy. I talk to Jason all the time. I'm proud of what he's accomplished with Everything 345 and the whole 9 yards. But you see, I don't have to sit here and talk to people about the relationships that I have with Jamaican people in my life. Because I'm like, why would I do that? That's just weird, right? They're not my friend because they're Jamaican. Or they're not an acquaintance because they're Jamaican. They're not a business colleague because they're Jamaican. It's because they're good, upstanding people. The fact that they're Jamaicans, men, women, whatever, that is like secondary. But that has nothing to do with why I'm talking to people and why I make the decisions that I do. That's the difference. I don't lead with your nationality. Morning, Anita. Says, listen, you're the only one who has the ability to bring everything to the forefront. And for that, I'm most grateful. You're unbiased. So keep up the good work. Thank you. Well, thank you too. And I should message you because I'm actually in your neck of the woods. Maybe we can grab lunch or something. Ms. Dean says, so many news media in Jamaica, which I don't listen to. I choose CMR 5 days every week. Thank you, Miss. I appreciate that. Anita says there's good and bad everywhere. Dean says, I love me, my principal Sandy. Can't fight truth. And listen, I tries to bring the truth. Morning, Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda says, kaboom. Takes a strong man to appreciate a strong woman. And that's that, right? And a lot of men, they feel a way. I know Miss Brenda says strong women are not liked by most people. They misconstrue strength and independence with other things. Exactly. And there's a level of intimidation when you don't need people. You engage with people because you enjoy their company, right? You engage with people because you want to, not that you need them. So for me to be able to say to a man, I don't need you for anything, but I like conversation. I want to do business with you. I want to engage with you. That's on a different level. Some people want people or need people to need them so that they feel somehow important in life. And that's not happening in my world, right? I chose my husband not because I needed anything from him. And let me also just say on this note, y'all really need to step off my husband's name. Oh, he's a Jamaican and she don't like Jamaicans. Marlon is different. Not just as a Jamaican. He's a different type of man altogether. Most of you men, Jamaican or not, could not really stand in this man's shoes any day of the week. Because he walks with a different type of energy, right? This is not a man who's into any kind of foolishness. He don't want to hear it. He not, look here. Insulting him, claiming that he's cheating is just, it is an insult. because he is so far from that type of person. If y'all would appreciate how much he loves and appreciates his family. He is such a family man. He's the one who has to remind me, you need to stop working. You need to put down your phone. Let's spend some family time together. We got to watch a movie and stuff, right? He is that person that brings, and this is one of the things I absolutely love about him, he brings the family to me. He's like, nope, family first. Yes, work is important. You got to do your job, whatever, but family first. And that centers me. That's important because I'm a person who I'll work 24/7 if you let me. Nope. Put down your phone. We're going on a vacation. Don't even think about it. We're going to sit down and watch a movie. We're going to spend time with Gigi. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He's that guy. And to know how committed he is to his family. And then to have people try to disparage his name, talking about, oh, somebody named Shakir and whatever. It's just such nonsense. I mean, he's the most transparent person that I've ever been in a relationship with. Not that I need to go snooping, but the man has given me the passcode to his phone. His email is on my phone because he don't even like to respond to emails, right? And his friends know this about him. He has a tracker on himself because he has one on his keychain. So anytime I wanted to know his whereabouts, I could look. I don't have to because I've never had a reason to, right? He has cameras everywhere. So even if he's at home and I wanted to drop in on one of the cameras, I could drop in. I could hear his conversation if I wanted to. I don't need to, but I'm just saying this to say how ridiculous these people are, that they just make up lies on people, someone they don't even know, one of their own Jamaicans. You would think here is a good, upstanding, decent Jamaican who isn't out in the streets cheating, who doesn't cause no scandal. He's not stealing from anybody. His employers love the ground that he works on. He's a very hardworking man, right? Provides for his family, a wonderful son, all of these things. He's like the epitome of what Jamaicans should be proud of. And yet they're in the comment section trying to tear him down because he's married to me. And I'm just like, y'all need Jesus in the worst kind of way. Like Anita says, there are many amazing Jamaicans out there. And then there are those who need prayer. Well, I can tell you, he's one of the amazing ones. Y'all could really take a page out of his book. And I'm not saying that just because he's married to me. At any day, you never know what happens in relationships. I can tell you he is an amazing father beyond anything. And I know that will never change. Miss Anita says it might have something to do with the slavery system that's part of our Caribbean islands and how the men were treated and made to feel for decades. I have no doubts about that. I'll message you, Anita. WhatsApp me, because I think you have my number, but definitely. Debbie says, my son, Peter, can attest to Marlon's character. Home gas days, I'm being very fair, and that's been over 10 years. And trust me, Miss Debbie, he's the type of person that you see him, how he was 10 years ago, he has not changed. He's the same person. He is very down to earth. He has a jovial personality. Even at work, he's always joking with people, but he's about his work. He likes to get stuff done. He's very, very intelligent. And he's just a hardworking person. And he doesn't even go out anywhere. I mean, sometimes I'm like, why don't you go out with your guy friends? And, he doesn't really drink. So that's not it. No, he's like, no, they can come over and play Ludi with me. And in fact, when we got married, there's certain people, he used to work at Tortuga at one point as their IT manager. And he used to go out and hang out with those guys, like at the beach and that kind of thing. And then after we got married and our daughter came, he just doesn't have time for that. So his priorities have shifted. And he'll say, listen, it's not that he doesn't want to hang out with them, right? But that can't be what he's doing every single weekend. He's like, no, I'm going to come home and I'm going to spend time with my child. The most important thing in his world is his daughter, right? And if their values don't align with him, like they just want to be, playing dominoes across from Tortuga every single weeknight, he can't do that. He's not into that kind of thing anymore. So his priorities are shifted, but it's not that, it's not that his respect for them changes. They're just in a different season of their life. And that's okay. People go through different things. YouTuber says, thank you, Sandy. Many men see a woman's success and then become intimidated, which is followed by the woman then being accused of thinking herself better and treating them like a boy. And I think, that's a whole different conversation. And Cameron said, gone from brownies to managed water. That's a whole different conversation that we could have. Thank you, Marlene says, big up your good hubby, Sandy. Yeah, like we should be encouraging more men to be good husbands like this. I mean, come on, it's hard to find a good husband out here, trust and believe. And it's even harder to find good fathers. You know what I'm saying? But no, they're trying to tear him down with ridiculous lies about somebody named Shakira. I'm like, please. It's just so stupid. I mean, I laugh at it, but then I'm like, also I feel away because don't insult Marlon, because he's not, he not watching your videos, so he don't even know anything and he don't care, whatever, but it's still an insult. Oh, yes. Big shout out. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Let me play a quick video on this. And then I think that's probably a really good way to end the show. Actually, two things I'm going to play. Thank you. Yes. Scranton was, Sharika. Oh God, it wasn't even a Shakira. Sharika. Shakira, I could understand because, Shakira from the World Cup, that's a beautiful woman. Maybe he might talk to her. I mean, I doubt it, but but a Sharika, Marlon don't even know about name Sharika. Oh my God, these poor people. I couldn't even get the name right. Sorry, Roar. I thought it was Shakira. So I was gonna say, is it Shakira? Shakira? Ay. Morning, Miss Sonia. All right, so a gentleman sent this video yesterday, this voice note yesterday, but he did ask us to change his voice. A Jamaican guy. Here's what he had to say.
Good day, Miss Sandra. Hope you're doing fine, you and your family. In regards to this video, this video is just telling those Jamaicans exactly who they are. I am a Jamaican living and working in Grand Cayman for the past 4 years now. And ever since I've been watching your platforms, I have never seen you pick on no nation, no nationality at all. Whoever it is that's not doing something right within the law, you always come out and expose them and show them up, right? But Jamaicans' culture is that they don't take accountability for the wrongs they do, and whenever people speak about it, they are always quick to say that people don't like Jamaicans and all of that. And that's definitely beyond the point. This guy here who you show up in this video, him just over the place since they had a one from Canada. Since you draw him up, this one just been here chasing cloud. I can say to you, Miss Sandy, continue doing your good work. And I am a Jamaican, and I stand with you. I stand with you. I like you. I like your platforms. I like what you're doing, right? Because sometimes a lot of workmen that is out there being mistreated by their boss, their contractor, which most of them are Jamaicans. You stand up for them, right, and show them up. And this foolishness about you picking on Jamaican, nothing like that, because a part of your ancestors are from Jamaica. Because you said it on your radio show that your grandfather is from Jamaica. So continue doing your good works, Miss Sandy, and don't pay these idiots no mind. Have a blessed day.
All right. We do have another person. Let me just read this one. They said to please read this. Give me one quick second. They said, good morning, my love. No worries about Jamaicans coming to Cayman to build after Ivan. This is a Jamaican woman, by the way. Why they do not talk about the Jamaicans that came here during Ivan to rebuild but did not return home, who did not overstay, and I'm sure that they're still here. Some found a Caymanian to marry, and although some of these marriages are genuine, some are also fake. And they all did it to stay here. They should thank God for Cayman and stop bad-mouthing the people of these islands. One love, Cayman. I'm also happy that Cayman did not follow Jamaica and go independent. Then she sent me the Jamaican Gleaner story earlier and said, why are they so cruel? This is about the American actor killed in Portmore gun attack. Well, he's Jamaican. maybe he's American Jamaican, but he's Jamaican. And they said, Sandra, please read my post and let these bad mind Jamaicans understand how decent Jamaicans think of them. They need to leave you alone. You are doing a good job. Thank you so much. Another person says, good morning, Sandy. Hope you're okay. I tell you, not all of us as Jamaicans are the same as that clown boy. I report him whenever I see him cussing you, but I can't believe I see our own people bringing you down. Miss Sandy, as a Jamaican, I would not want to see my family with a man like that. Let me see here. Somebody just sent a video where somebody, thank you so much to, the people who are in this space who, someone just shared this video to say this is his own Jamaicans now are coming out, talking about him and showing the type of person that he is. And apparently a guy did a video. I think that's a guy. This is Sandra. This is a definition of a waste man. Let me see. This is TikTok. Hold on.
This is a message to Sandra from Cayman. Sandra from Cayman. Go on in your bed, go sleep and relax yourself. You see them boy you malabre? Take it from me as a Jamaican. Them boy you are not nobody at all. A waste man them. Sandra, don't watch the bag of nice when I make on the media. Sandra, you don't notice. Him literally come out a post content creator. Oh, them not defend me the social media. Sandra, this is a nobody. A nice him make. Sandra, ask yourself the question.
All right, I'll finish watching that later. But boy, my poor name has gone. Lord God. My poor name is just all over the place now. Yes, sir. But thank you so much, sir. I don't know you, but I appreciate you defending the truth, because to me, ultimately, that is really what this is all about. This other person says, yes, Jamaicans are so jealous and bad mind. Their own people cannot return home. Ungratefulness, bad mindedness, jealousy, and ignorance killing people. That's why my tolerance for them has always been low. Jamaicans commit more crime internationally, so of course they will get more airtime. Common sense, Nico. Sorry, you probably don't have a lot of common sense, so you may not understand. Oh my goodness. Not telling Nico he don't have no common sense. Roar says, after Sandy, enough frightened. Sandra gone Grammy. My dear, look here. These people on my name like white on rice. Sadiqa says, you're not alone, Auntie Sandy. Jamaicans love you. Thank you so much. And I know, because like I said, I get the comments all the time. Oh, there's a Jamaican sprinter named, what her name was again? Shakir, what her name was? Sharika. There's a Jamaican sprinter named Sharika? I don't even know who that is. Please treat this riffraff with the contempt that he deserves, says Miss Debbie. So anyway, on that note, folks, that's the last I'm really going to say about it. Here's something that you might find interesting. While he's doing all these videos about me, even did a song now, started a GoFundMe page, the most. One of the Jamaican artists who actually, not artists, but one of the Jamaican content creators who responded to him in a manner that was quite, direct. Let me put it that way, as Jamaicans would do, using the BBC word. And he really went off on him. It was definitely an FAFO moment. He turns around and tries to report the same guy complaining about Kim Airways and lying, whatever. He turns around and tries to report another content creator to the police about, he's being harassed, when he's harassing me with his videos. I'm just like, these people, look here. This world of, especially with these so-called content creators, is wild out here, folks. This just gave me a bit of an insight into the nonsense and the foolishness that they're up to on a daily basis. Let me be clear. 97, maybe we'll say 95% of what we do is not this kind of back and forth and ridiculousness, right? I will address people, because nobody can step on my name and try to put lies on my name, okay? So I will correct the record, but at the end of the day, like I told them, show me an example of where you're doing anything to actually help people. When was the last time as a so-called Jamaican content creator you helped yourself? No, they're out here trying to get attention for, not help yourself, but help other people. They're out here trying to get attention for themselves, trying to be, artists and dance hall this and whatever, and using their platforms to gain attention for themselves. They're not helping people. Every single day of my life, even if it's just giving people advice, I am helping someone. And that is what I'm here for. I'm not here for no friendship circle. I'm not here to have you like me and you don't like me, whatever. I'm here to be of service to the community. We have a job to do as media. And yes, we have a media license. Whether you want to call us a journalist or anything else, I don't really care. That is the space that we're in. And we're making a difference every day. And that's what matters to me, right? All the other nonsense, I ain't got time for it. So tomorrow's show, we not talking no more about this foolishness. It's done and dusted. Okay? We're done with it. But it is funny that he's running to the police. I said to myself, oh, wow, that shows really the caliber person he is. So I should go and call the police in Toronto and complain about how he's been harassing me on social media then. These people special, you know. No, sir. Soka in the house says this is about one person, nothing to do with nationality. As long as CMR has been around, everyone should know this by now. Cha. Folks, I wish you, oh Lord, somebody say his people say he's a batty man living off Canadian government who don't want to work. So he got to find other ways to make money. But he's going to waste a whole pile trying to sue you. Sit down. I know he's not suing me. Sue who? Tell him that would be futile. That would be a waste of $250 because that's all he's collected so far. I don't know what Dunk is giving this man money. But anyway, on that note, folks, I am on vacation with my daughter. Marlon did not travel with us. He's at home working. So guess what? We're going to go out and enjoy some of her day today. I don't know what we got planned. I think hopefully she's done her homework. I brought her math and reading books and stuff with her. So hopefully she's done a little bit of work. But, you know, her birthday is coming up next week, Sunday. And so this is our annual little trip that we like to take in August for her birthday. Don't forget, it's tax-free month in Florida. So go do your clothes shopping, your back to school supplies, and you don't have to pay any taxes on those transactions. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to it, folks. Thank you so much for all of those of you who support the platform, who understand what the platform is all about, and you get it, you understand it. You know, that's what we're here for. And I can't talk no more foolishness with these people. I can't. What they say is when you get down to their level, you really are no better than them. And so I think it's important sometimes to remind ourselves, you know, we had our little moment where we set him straight. He up in his feelings. He didn't like it. He'll be fine. All right, beautiful folks. Thank you very, very much. And you guys have a fantastic Monday. The week is off to a good, strong start. And we will be back on tomorrow. Hopefully I can get my board sorted out. And you guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.